Okay, I think I'm live. I always wait until I can see my image show up in YouTube Studio. There we go, I'm for sure live now. Hey everybody. My mic? Yeah, my mic's working, or it should be. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Oh, first of all, hi Ash, hi Mantis Brawl. Mantis Brawl just spammed the chat. I'm not even gonna read all those, except for I like when they posted a picture of a cat in a box and said that's Lister. Hi Styx, Dinosphere. I thought it was the Dinaverse. I think maybe I like Dinosphere better. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. Let me zoom out a little bit. I don't know if this was totally necessary, but I just felt like I was zoomed in a little further than I needed to be. You don't need to see my face that close. There we go. I expected more people to be here since I didn't start like 5 minutes early this time. I'm starting barely on time. Maybe it'll just take a minute for more people to show up. I think this is a cherry and pomegranate. It's really good, whatever it is. Hi, Taijan. The trip to Dina Mountain. I don't even want to know what that would be. We're just not even going to touch that one. I'm going to go ahead and put my hair up because I'm kind of warm. Hi, Digital Indra. It suddenly got kind of warm today. I'm fine with that, though. I'm tired of wearing sweaters to work. Whenever I go into the office, it's weird. They, you know, it's kind of the typical office where they have the air conditioning turned up too high, so it's always too cold in there. But, like, it's somehow even colder in the winter. So I don't understand how that works. I would have thought maybe it'd be too cold in the summer and too hot in the winter, but nope. Too cold in the summer and it's extra too cold in the winter. So I'm looking forward to the weather warming up a little bit so it's not quite as cold in the damn office. I'm just rambling here. Hi, Hershey. Special metal. Yeah, no special iron just yet. Yeah, sorry, Taijian, you missed season 10. I believe that was last week. Yeah, we're up to Twentika. Let me move this mic a little bit away from me. I guess I'll go ahead and get started. I'd like to get all the way through season 11, but we'll have to see. In fact, if we could also watch the video where I compared thanks for the memories to clues, that'd be fun. Or that'd be nice. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay. Hi, Geo Francis. Scotland, huh? That's interesting. Okay, I want to go ahead and get started. Since it's warm, you will put your hair in a library lady bun? Nah. I just twist it and put a claw clip on it. I think it looks cute. Anyway. All right, let's go here. Wait for 4 more. I'd rather not wait, like I said. I would like to get through all of these today, if possible. All of season 11, I mean. Artist formerly known as Iron. Yeah, Twentika is pretty good. There we go. Turn it down on my end a little. Welcome to season 11. We open on Starbug, where another ship is approaching. They open communication and it's a simulant, specifically asking for Rimmer and then Lister.
I am Combat Droid 4 of Badge 27.
Turns out he wants to make a trade with them.
Under no
These simulants look very Borg-like. I think I probably mentioned that later.
Guys, it's me! They've taken me hostage! You've got to help me!
Huh.
1 second, we need a moment.
I love the use of the Skype mute symbol there. So yeah, that was weird.
That's a fun thing about modern Red Dwarf.
Alternate Rimmer, a clone, or Rimmer from the future. But there's no way to know, so they're going to have to negotiate just to be on the safe side.
I've seen movies, Rimmer. I know to talk to hostage takers.
I'm handling this. Now get me a pad and open comms.
Okay, on.
He called him Arn. That's unusual.
Are you just using your hostage negotiation techniques on me? Just get me a damn pad.
Okay, Arnold.
So is Arnold. Anyway, they unmute the
That's very
simulant
unusual
and
for him to
tells them
call him
what
by
he
his
wants
first
in return
name.
for Rimmer.
What the hell? I'll put on my cat ears.
Comms, which you salvaged from our abandoned attack ship, the AS Thanatos.
I remember this. It's upstairs in the rec room underneath the pool table.
For safekeeping.
No, to keep the table level.
They wouldn't sacrifice Rimmer just to keep the pool table stable, but you know it's tempting.
How do we know you won't betray us?
I am 4 of 27. I am a warrior and highborn. Who do you think I am? 3 of 63?
Sounds like a random joke, and it is cute, but it's gonna come up again later. So Lister returns the casket, but
Wait!
now we know where the hostage Rimmer came from. Turns out it was a very near future Rimmer after all. Pretty good troll move there from the simulants. But when Rimmer was there, he overheard them talking about the object they needed, and it wasn't what they said it was.
That Kronos casket didn't contain the spirit of anyone. It was an amplifier they needed to plug into their temporal transporter to expand the beam.
It turns out that they're a type of simulant called expanoids. They're planning to go back into Earth's past to change the present.
Expanoids are unemotional, cold-hearted psychopaths. They will have no hesitation using hackneyed old cliches if it suits their purpose.
Sounds like the writers of this show sometimes. Just kidding, don't do anything horrible to Cat. Yeah, I know, too late.
We need to get stop whatever they're doing and get that Kronos machine back.
So we could utilize its time travel abilities ourselves?
No, so we can prop the pool table back up.
So Starbug follows the expanoid ship and ends up heading toward Earth. Once they reach it, all the electronics go down. Not only Starbug, but Crichton and Rimmer. This results in a pretty hard landing in the desert, but they're okay.
We got hit by some sort of electromagnetic pulse weapon. It's taken out the grid and drained everything connected to it.
So they need to reboot Starbug using the auxiliary drives and use it to jumpstart Crichton. You know, Crichton is always talking about his nipple nuts.
Oh, spin my nipple nuts and send me to
Oh, this is the one with the
right
nipple
nut
nuts.
was used to regulate body temperature, while the left nipple nut was used mainly to pick up shortwave radio transmissions.
But there never appeared to be anything like that on him. I guess now we know where they were hiding all this time.
Start her up.
Sir, what happened?
Crichton, stand up and walk up and down really fast to recharge your dynamo.
Close hatches. So embarrassing.
And now Rimmer is back too, but there's no sign of the expanoids.
According to the monitor, they too landed here. But due to the curvature of space-time, several years have elapsed in the time it took us to get here.
So they make their way to the nearest town.
People? I'm gonna be seeing real people again.
Yeah, that hasn't happened since last season. Anyway, Crichton is trying to figure out what time period they're in, but nothing quite fits. They find a sign saying that a store is closed due to the Prohibition Act, so they think it's the
Hi, Jackie.
20s.
Dark days.
Society run by a bunch of hoodlum gangsters. Dark days indeed.
I was thinking more about the booze ban.
I'm with Lister, that sucks. Anyway, they spot a poster advertising rum, and a flyer handed to them says that the year is 1952.
Get him!
Hey, don't move.
Well, looky here, illegal contraband.
I wonder how many fans would like to fantasize that's Talkie Toaster. But yeah, it turns out that the
bet Lister
prohibition is
would.
against electronics.
Any technology beyond the 1920s is illegal around here.
Then the expanoids show up, and it turns out that they traveled to the past to enslave humanity.
Like travelling to a point in history where we haven't got the technology to defeat them or defend ourselves.
A tech ban, which means you, sir, are illegal. So am I.
And apparently the penalty for smuggling electronics is death.
Get out of here!
Fortunately, they catch this guy before he dies. He gives them a card with an address to a club on it and some kind of device.
Ask for Harmony de Gautier. And give her this.
They get some snazzy looking clothes. Not sure how they'd have the right kind of currency, and it doesn't look like they stole them, but oh well. Either way, they have to hotwire a car, and this gem of a conversation takes place.
I know it was wrong. I was young. I was stupid. What do you really know when you're 7?
Stealing cars at the age of 7. Why didn't you take the bus?
Hotwire a bus? Don't look at me like that. I've been on the straight and narrow since I was 9.
So they get to the club.
I am well versed in the ancient human signaling technique that was all the rage before electromagnetism was discovered.
But the guy doesn't want to
so
let
silly.
them in.
Americans love the English accent, so that rules out Lister.
Lies. All lies.
I bid you good evening, stout fellow. My companions
We love
who
Lister's
stand before
accent.
you require information about a personage to whom I understand frequents your establishment.
You've been drinking the giggle water?
But that doesn't work
Giggle
either.
water.
Oddly enough,
I've never
Kat
heard
is
it
the one
called
who
that.
gets them in.
You know you got standing out here? Lucky. No middle name. Listerano.
Though I think he just got lucky.
He ain't related to the scientist Joseph Lister, is he?
Uncle Joe.
That is a real guy, by the way, but probably no relation to our Lister. So the club turns out to be a place for scientists to experiment and discuss scientific theories in secret.
We're looking for a Harmony de Gouttiere.
So, you want to grab a drink first, or you want to go somewhere quiet and discuss relativity? For an extra $10, I'll do both, general and special.
This gag is cute, but it goes on a little too long, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'll wear a tweed suit and sensible shoes if that revs up your engine.
We're here for something else.
Hey, I don't do the Big Bang. That's Barrel.
By the way, that's the same actress who played Pre in season 10. Anyway, Lister hands her the device,
Big
and she
Bang
knows
Barrel.
what it is,
This is the capacitor.
and has another gadget that it's supposed to connect to, but she doesn't know how to do it.
We're all theoretical.
But putting them together will create a device that will destroy the Expanoids. Unfortunately, all the previous scientists have been driven underground and are homeless.
Einstein, Hubble, and Edison.
As in Albert Einstein.
Sure. He's half goofy now, squawking around the park pushing a pram full of string.
Heh, string theory. So they go out and find someone who is apparently Einstein.
And congratulations on the theory of relativity.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This is kind of reminiscent of when they met Jesus. Rimmer got all fanboyish with him, too.
Big fan of yours. Big fan.
And again, they met him before he actually accomplished anything, so it was weird then, too.
In this world, he hasn't achieved anything.
He'll still be a genius. Whatever problem we give him, he'll be able to solve.
Rimmer logic.
You leave the string alone, yes?
I love Crichton humoring him.
It's fine, sir. It is safe. My string. You won't touch your string. My string. It's your string.
Anyway, they take him back to the club.
It's your
give him
string,
the
sir. It's your
device,
string.
You're a genius. You can do this.
I can do this?
and again, like Jesus, it turns out to not be Einstein after all.
We haven't been introduced. I am Bob the Bum.
I kind of love this guy.
I'll get right onto it. I didn't realize I was so brilliant.
Anyway, the cops show up.
I
and
am
everyone
Bob the
goes
Bum.
into
I
hiding.
love that.
Look suspicious.
Yeah, that's not suspicious at all.
I'm out of the science game now, see?
How dense do you think I am?
You really want to know? Just divide your mass by your volume.
I love how he's not sure if he should be offended or not.
What the hell happened to your face?
I went bobbing for apples in a cement mixer.
That reminds me of a line from Star Trek, The City on the Edge of Forever.
My friend is obviously Chinese. I see you've noticed the ears. The unfortunate accident he had as a child. He caught his head in a mechanical rice picker.
A little less racist sounding, though.
Yeah.
They're actually doing
it's
okay
a little,
until
it's a little
Lister
iffy,
jumps
but it's still kind of a funny line.
Ooh, I wonder what was in that.
They've been doing science. You're busted.
And here come the Expanoids again.
So, we meet again.
You really don't mind a hackneyed old cliche, do you?
You know, we're really not so different, you and I.
Now you're taking this, Meg.
I love it. Anyway, it turns out that they were created when some humans in the future decided that people couldn't handle technology. Seems a little hypocritical.
We are the good guys here. Prepare to die, human scum.
But Lister remembers that conversation from earlier.
So much better than that other droid. What was his name?
3 of 63.
Did someone say my name? Nothing. Don't say anything.
He was slagging you off behind your back.
I love this bit.
You're no better than 18 of 241.
And
How dare
Bob
you.
the Bum saves the day.
It was Star Trek in the 60s. We'll let it slide. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't making a big deal about it, just pointing it out.
Send the signal worldwide and wipe out all the mechs.
Well, that would be kind of bad for Crichton.
Rimmer thinks that Lister could just stay there.
Mr. Rimmer is speaking only about what is best for you, as obviously detonating a global EMP will destroy him too.
Because Rimmer is a dumbass.
I already detonated it while you two were yakking. You got 15 minutes to scram.
Nice callback to Emo Hawk.
Change your plan!
Leg it!
Gotta fix that pool table. After they've made it out,
I learned a few things today, Craig.
some final words of wisdom from Lister about how people shouldn't rely on technology too much.
Sucky? Other sucky? Or else we lose the very
Sucky.
thing that makes us human.
And so ends Twentika.
Silly.
This is an episode that I didn't really care for when I first saw it, but it got a lot better on a second viewing. Actually, that's kind of how I experienced season 11 overall. This was the first season to come out after I got into Red Dwarf. I think season 10 was only a year or two old at the time. So I finally got to experience what a lot of other Red Dwarf fans have been dealing with for a while, having to wait so long for a new Red Dwarf season that it gets built up to something it could never live up to. I remember thinking that this episode was slow or boring, and I'm not sure why I thought that in retrospect, other than season 10 was a tough act to follow and it was such a long wait. But yeah, while not being one of my favorite Red Dwarf episodes or anything, I liked this one. It's actually similar to both Star Trek First Contact with the Exponoids going back in time, similarly to how the Borg did, and The City on the Edge of Forever with the main characters going back in time to Earth's past and trying to blend in, complete with a funny line about why one of them doesn't look human. So while I poked fun at the writers during that bit about cliches, honestly I think they were poking fun at themselves with that. Either way, I love it when the show references Star Trek. By the way, I thought the Exponoids were pretty cool. They're not as fun as the simulants from the end of season 10, but they do come across as legitimately threatening and do look vaguely Borg-like. And if nothing else, it's always fun to see the boys from the Dwarf all dressed up and looking sharp. Next up is Samsara. See you then.
Why do you always ask him if he's got any theories? I'm acting stand-in commanding senior premier officer. Why do you never ask me?
Hey, any theories, Rimmer?
No.
All right. Oh, hey, Special Iron. You just missed Twentika. What would be more annoying, a Red Dwarf Gelf movie or a Red Dwarf Hoagie movie? I don't know. Yeah, they're obviously different types of simulants. He always has a pen, but doesn't always have a pad. Yeah, good point. Why always carry a pen if you don't have a pad? I wonder if the white circle on Crichton's chest can get Netflix. Probably. I've watched these videos so many times that when I watch Red Dwarf, I can still hear her voice. Sorry about that. Jackie is playing World of Warcraft. Yeah, the amount of times Lister meets human in series 11, 10, 11, and 12 kind of retcons his entire existence. Yeah, that's true. Talkie Toaster isn't that bad. He's just unique. I mean, I think he's funny, but yeah. I just suspect that there might be fans out there who find him legitimately annoying, but... Where are all the lights? I'm not sure what you mean. On the show or here? I have all my usual lights on. I closed the blinds so that I don't look too dark. I would pay to see riff tracks watching the Red Dwarf episode. I'm not a fan of... I'm not interested in seeing riff tracks watch anything good. I don't really see the point. Gigawater equals 1920 slang for booze. Well, yeah, I gathered that from the context. I just don't recall hearing it called that before. They look cool in suits and hats. Yeah, they do look really spiffy in this one. That one that just ended. What's the point on Lister's Jesus episode hat? I think it was just like a stretchy kind of fabric, and it was like shaped like a tube. If that makes any sense. If I were Spock, I would hit Kirk. Yeah. It's like, what the hell? Hi, Tiresias. Scram. I love the word scram. It just sounds so old-timey. Scram like a clam. I want to see a Red Dwarf in-character Let's Play series? I'm not sure what you mean. How's the giggle water? I love the when Crichton is charging himself, the lights make it look like a disco. I'm good, Special Iron. How are you? Best thing about the Exponoids was their lover spat at the end. Yeah, that was so funny. Just got back from work in case you were wondering. Oh, that's funny. I forgot that Samsara was the first video of mine you saw. Hi, Noah. Now we figure out the scientist who invented gravy and yelled for Micah. Hi, Josie. Sophia scared herself by backing into a bear statue. Aw. Hi, Moonbeam. Everyone's showing up like one episode late. Retcon is Red Dwarf's favorite word, yeah. Anybody heard about what they did to Toblerone? My brother loves it and told me something happened, but I'm not sure. I feel like I've heard something about Toblerone, but I don't remember what now. Yeah, you missed Bob the Bum. Oh, you like the rainbow thumbnail? Thank you. Yeah, I remembered that yesterday was Trans Day of Visibility, and I don't have a trans flag one, but I figured the pride flag one would be semi-appropriate. Well, I mean, it's not relevant to Red Dwarf, but I used it because, like I said, Trans Day of Visibility was yesterday. I don't necessarily feel like using a red one every time. I liked Into Darkness. The third one with the krill didn't hit as hard, but I don't know. Into Darkness just had that epic feel. As in Star Trek Into Darkness? Obviously. Haven't seen that. Just a heads up, I might be a little late next week as well as I'm working the same hours. Ah, okay. All right, well, get over it, Smithersy. Quit bitching about the title card. You don't even see it once the video starts anyway. Showing support, exactly. And it's my stream. I'll use whatever fucking title card I want. Like, what? Why do you care? What happened to the Child's Play vlog? I never did a Child's Play vlog. Hi, Burger Floyd. Last time I saw your content was 10 plus years ago. Wow, glad to see you are still all right. Still love the Silent Hill and the Thrill Kill retrospective. Well, thank you. Yeah, those are older videos for sure, but glad you liked them. Hi, Morgan. Oh, wow, everyone's showing up now all of a sudden. All right, Samsara. Oh, wait, let me get caught up really quick. Being blind means I only ever get to experience thumbnails vicariously, so thanks for the descriptions. I forgot that you were blind. I'm curious how you watch videos. I guess, like, can you still see them, but you're just legally blind, or? You don't have to go into the details if you want. I'm just thinking out loud. This stream needs more lens flares. Can we have more lens flares? I'm not sure how I would do lens flares in a stream. I guess I could, like, use Photoshop and add some, but... Oh, the movie video. I mean, I haven't had time to do any film dens. I'd like to do it at some point. No, glad to hear that, Moonbeam. I'm glad you liked it. Listening sadly medically blind with no useful vision. Red Dwarf fortunately has audio description. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Hi, Isaiah. Goddamn, people keep showing up. Still recall it from before I lost my sight. Oh, okay. Well, hope you're managing that well. Now I want to see Chucky in a Red Dwarf episode. Aye.
We open on Lister and Rimmer playing a game that's apparently a JMC variation on Monopoly.
I've never been beaten at Monopoly, Lister. Undefeated since birth.
And Lister is winning. Wonder why.
Throw a 2 and a 1 and land on my space station, and your bank is erupted, baby.
Lister, I'm not going to throw a 2 and a 1.
This discussion reminds me of Rimmer's Risk stories.
I threw a 5 and a 2.
I win. You can't
threw a 5 and a 2.
Anything I do for an entire week.
Well, that's going to kill Rimmer.
Here we go. Anything but a 2 and a 1.
Anyway, I'm guessing he won't be bragging about this game because he keeps rolling a 2 and a 1. He keeps making excuses to re-roll, but he keeps getting it. Lister gets a different number.
Swap chairs.
They switch chairs, and Lister still gets a different number, but Rimmer still gets a 2 and a 1.
Okay, I accept it. Just lucky for you, I'm such a good loser.
Meanwhile, Crichton and Kat have discovered an escape pod.
That little run to the bed was so funny.
In the local vicinity.
Someone in the pod tries to warn them.
It's very important. You must...
For all the good that's gonna do.
No matter, sir. I'll remote control the pod into the cargo bay.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. Back to Lister and Rimmer. Naturally, Lister is being as annoying as possible. So Rimmer believes that he's cursed, and he tells this story.
This busker claimed he was an alien and wanted to sell me some lucky space dust. Even at 9, I was no fool. I knew he was real.
I miss Rimmer's obsession with aliens.
Aliens?
At least we got a little nod to it there.
And as I walked off, he cursed me for life, and I've never had any luck since.
We also get Rimmer telling Lister how he gets all the lucky breaks.
I'm alone in deep space with you. How charmed is that?
The crew got wiped out, you survived. That's charmed.
I survived to live the rest of my life with you, not charmed.
That's another welcome callback to the first couple seasons.
I could have been God, you know, given a different start in life, given the lucky showbiz break you had.
Bing bong. Sorry, sirs. The bing bong machine is being serviced this evening.
Girl type Holly said something like that once.
Oh, God, now the sirens bust. Awooga, abandoned ship.
Anyway, Crichton tells them about the escape pod and that there were 2 survivors in it.
We're just about to open the booth and take them to the science room for debriefing. Message ends. Bing bong. Sir, Colonel Green and Professor Barker.
I like the little flags.
What happened? Well, they appear to have been vaporized, sir. Quite how and why, we're not sure.
Anyway, Barker and Green were both officers on the ship the SS Samsara, and were both married but not to each other.
We believe the ship must have crashed onto this ocean moon.
It seems to me we should do 2 things. 1, scatter the ashes, and 2, find this ship.
I wondered when Lister was gonna sneeze on the ashes. At least he didn't eat them this time.
On to 2 then.
So they find the ship and explore it.
I wonder what happened to Barker and Green.
Here's kind of a cool transition to the past.
Professor Barker reporting for duty.
Barker and Green act like they don't know each other, but secretly they've been having an affair.
Let's go to my quarters.
Back to the present, the Dwarfers are trying to figure out what caused the ship to crash.
It's a state-of-the-art research ship with self-repairing engine parts. Crashing should have been out of the question.
They end up finding a lot of skeletons in interesting positions.
Wow.
I try to save all the cat stuff for the cat videos, but I can't help but mention that Cat thinks they were all playing Twister, and he complains about how they clearly weren't following the rules, and that's just so precious I could die.
According to the size scan, they were flash-heated to death.
Good old size scan. Anyway, basically they were instantly vaporized, leaving their skeletons in the position they were in when they died.
Who turned that on? The mainframe probably detected us.
They come across the captain, who appears to have typed a bunch of gibberish.
Looks like Welsh after about 15 pints.
Because that's how you type when you're being strangled. Because they test that theory.
So maybe the captain was strangled by this person here who's been stabbed.
They go into the cafeteria where Cat finds a slot machine. He uses money from the orphan fund jar on the top of it to play and wins, but Lister puts the winnings back in the jar. Suddenly his dreads get caught in a garbage disposal, but Cat frees him with a knife from one of the bodies.
Scary.
And then drops it in there.
Scary getting your hair
That's gonna
trapped
come up
like
again. And it does, and then right down into Cat's foot.
Ow.
And then the power goes out. This seems like just a lot of slapstick, but there's a reason for it. So Cat's foot needs to be fixed, and they can't see anything, so Lister gets out a first aid kit with glow sticks. Lots of glow sticks. Good thing they already have holders for them.
It's so silly, I love this.
We could survive in here for days, weeks, months even. Just the 2 of us. Crichton!
Hi, Flash.
Meanwhile, Crichton and Rimmer are trying to find their way back to the main hub, and they come across what's called a karma drive.
It's based on the old Justice World tech, where the pain an individual inflicts on another is redirected back on them.
This whole episode is basically a callback to Justice.
The karma drive has 2 modes, a punishment setting and a reward setting. Well, it creates a karma field that analyzes behavior and then manipulates reality to reward or punish.
Interesting.
But that doesn't make sense. Morality changes across time and cultures. Who decides what's immoral and moral?
Rimmer makes a good point there, but apparently it's programmable.
Anyone can implement their moral code of their choice and then force others to live by it.
Now Rimmer remembers how he kept throwing a 2 and a 1 repeatedly earlier, and wonders if Red Dwarf had entered the karma drive's field.
Why punish me? I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Sir, there is no cause for alarm. We're under no danger as long as we don't do anything vindictive, selfish, or unethical.
Yeah, you're all screwed. Back to Barker and Green, they were talking about having minor health problems earlier. We now know due to the karma drive, and now their relationship has been discovered.
So we're all supposed to live the megacore dream, where the married stay married, and everyone eats lots of homemade apple pie.
Or you could just not be dicks and get divorced from your spouses if you'd rather be with each other. Back to Lister and Cat.
Just give me like 10 minutes. I better come up with a plan. I get great ideas all the time. I just don't say them out loud.
You say everything you think out loud.
Cat just makes annoying Lister an art form in this one.
Rosenthal? Sidney Rosenthal?
Who?
Invented the magic marker.
Magic marker? The guy I'm talking about is real. He ain't no wizard out of a book with his magic pen.
The scene is amazing.
You can lead a hearse to water, but you can't make it sink.
Meanwhile, they're in trouble because the karma drive is controlling everything, so they have to be kind to each other if they want to survive.
An excellent suggestion, Crichton. That's very insightful of you to make such a helpful recommendation.
Except it doesn't seem to work.
Dear,
And they're about to suffer the same fate as the crew.
The ship's quantum motherboards are power loading to flash heat the ship.
But Rimmer insulting Crichton fixes it, and they make it back to Lister and Kat, just when Lister is about to lose his sanity.
Crichton, thank God! It's so good to see you.
Sir, stop! Don't be nice to me! We know what happened to Parker!
I feel like this is payback for Nanarchy. Back to Barker and Green. The Karma Drive really started doing a number on them.
Got no choice.
Yes, we do. If I can access the KD's mainframe, then perhaps I can reverse the protocol.
So it rewards the unethical and punishes the good.
I hope I'm not supposed to feel sorry for these two.
Right, if you weren't so ugly, I could kiss you.
Oh, well, you could shake my hand, sir.
Still too ugly.
Lister goes over everything that
That's a good
happened
one.
earlier and how the Karma Drive
Still too
reacted.
ugly.
The cat nicked the money out of the orphan fund to play the one-armed bandit,
And I won the jackpot. You were rewarded for stealing.
And we know how the rest of it went.
How sad is that? I mean, basically, their love for one another brought down the entire ship.
Yes, sad for the crew. Basically, they were forced to act immorally in an attempt to survive, while Green and Barker stole the only escape pod.
And they went into cryo sleep for millions of years.
Where they were safe.
But when they tried to warn us about the Karma Field, an act of kindness,
The Karma Drive had them vaporized. Hey! How come you got so many Monopoly cards in your pocket?
Busted. And so ends Samsara. This was a good one in my opinion. I remember that when I covered Justice, a lot of people in the comments section complained about how the Justice field doesn't make sense. Frankly, I just chalked it up to rule of funny, but it's kind of neat that the creators brought the idea back so they could explore its flaws and how it could be misused. And yeah, I think they pretty much covered it this time around. Morality is subjective, etc. Like I said, I don't really feel sorry for Barker and Green. Okay, they didn't deserve everything that happened to them, but they could have prevented all of it, including the death of the crew, if they had just put their hormones away until they were stationed on another
Just
ship.
keep in your damn
like
pants.
they talked about. Though the episode doesn't necessarily paint them as sympathetic characters. It generally just kind of presents the backstory and lets the audience decide how to react, which I think is a good way to handle it. Other than Lister mentioning how sad it is that their love caused this, but to be fair, he is kind of a sentimentalist, so he would say that. In general, even if it was played for laughs, the bit with the skeletons was still kind of creepy and disturbing, especially once you learn why they were doing that. And I like the general
Yeah, it's
dark
very possible
atmosphere
none of them were
this
even really
episode
into
had.
it, so
Even if it is totally ruined with the bizarre sight of skeletons with glow sticks poking out of them every which way. Also, much as I couldn't show much of it yet, Kat really shines in this one and has a lot of great dialogue. This might be my favorite season 11 episode as far as Kat lines are concerned, but we'll see. Next up is Give and Take. See you then.
Smeg happens. You just roll with it.
I've been rolling in smeg my whole damn life. Don't lecture me about smeg rolling.
I've been rolling in smeg my whole life. That's so true. Did I forget to mark my place in the chat? Oh no. Oh, fuck. Okay, I think this is about where I was at. I'm still trying to find my place. I'm almost there. Okay, time to turn it into a food stream. What I hate is YouTubers making clickbait videos just because it's April Fool's Day. I don't know. I think April Fool's videos can be kind of fun. Yeah, it's mining because Red Dwarf is a mining ship. Minopoly. Is Rimmer wearing his Snuggies? I think it's just a robe. They're BFFs, they just won't admit it. That sneeze wasn't in the script. I assume it was just because the timing was so perfect. But I don't actually know. First time I watched this when Cat got the knife in his foot, I cried. It was so funny. The crew are masters at sneezing at the worst possible moment. Remember Cat sneezing away Rimmer's dandruff? I'm surprised I didn't mention that. Maybe I just thought I was making enough references already. The biggest mall in North America at the time, West Edmonton Mall, released their own version of Monopoly, so it's quite likely. Oh, okay. Apparently Welsh is a complicated language. Yeah, they joke about that on this show a few times. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall watching a prop person set those skeletons up. Yeah, that must have been fun. He'll be okay. He has like 8 more lives. I don't know. The cat literally has 9 lives. I know Feral Cat did in Red Dwarf USA. Oh, that's why I haven't been. It's acting weird when I try to select text now. I wasn't doing that before. Wow, I never realized how many callbacks there were to earlier seasons. Yeah. I feel like it's my job to point those out. My mom, who used to tell me she didn't like horror films, is watching The Conjuring right now. Never seen The Conjuring. I don't know if it's especially, like, graphic or scary. Maybe it's a sort of sequel to Justice. Yeah, I can't remember if they specifically mention the similarities to Justice, but it does seem like they intentionally brought up the subject again so they could expand on it more. Oh, excuse me. God, excuse me. Looking up Welsh words for Inigo Montoya's mission statement. I want to live on the potato famine planet. She is very wrong, but funny, yeah. Crichton points out that anyone can program the moral code of their choice, but then assumes the program will work in a good way. Yeah, good point. Julius Caesar. Yeah, I really had to leave out a lot of cat dialogue because I had to save it for the cat video for this episode. Sir, stop. Don't be nice to me, Punch. They gave him a special hat to wear at night to cover up the bruising. They gave him a night hood. This episode is so morbid. Yeah, it is. Isn't the choice to just go outside of the Karma Drive? Well, I assume it affects the whole ship. They'd have to leave the ship to do that. Plot twist. Rimmer being truthful when calling Crichton ugly. That's right. I forgot he was doing that because they were being mean on purpose because of the Karma Drive. That ended abruptly. Yeah, a lot of these episodes, a lot of the later episodes, Red Dwarf episodes end kind of abruptly. It wasn't love, it was lust. Yeah, exactly. Stop, even if the Star Trek crap, it's too early in the morning. Well, yours is the paraphrased. Yours is paraphrased. Is it weird that I like playing bad games and end up enjoying them? Depends on in what way they're bad. If they're bad in the sense that they're unplayable, that's different. But if they just have like a bad graphics or a bad story, they could, I imagine they could be like so bad they're good. Cat was pretty clever and funny in that episode, yeah. Oh, Cat shines in this one may just be a bit of an understatement, yeah. My favorite line, save the whipped cream for your apple pie. I don't remember that line. I hate all of you. April Fools, kinda. Give and take. Oh yeah, that one does have some good cat lines. There's a bit of a delay from the comments appearing on the chat to the stream. Yeah, I know. I don't know why that is. It didn't used to do that. Like it'll be still for a long time and then it'll suddenly roll up. As president of Russia, I declare you all stop being noobs, please. I played Golden Axe games again, and boy, are they tough as nails sometimes. They can be, yeah. I recall the Genesis version being kind of easy, but did that have difficulty settings? I don't think it did. If I remember correctly, in the Genesis version, you could just kind of spam everybody with jump kicks, and it's very effective. One of the YouTubers I watch simply said, "I'm deleting my channel, April Fools," as they're pranking a community post. That's silly. I remember one year, back when I was doing Pixels as Big as Cats, I set up a video that looked like it was going to be an episode on E.T., and then I cut to an 8-bit version of Never Gonna Give You Up, because Rickrolling was still a thing at the time. Nobody thought it was that funny, they just thought it was annoying and stupid. Dina trying to find her place in chat. Everyone stop typing. Yeah, that never works. Oh, hi, Red Rally. Haven't seen you in the chat in a while. Windows keeps popping up telling me to set a time for the next update. I'll update it when I freaking want to. I know, I hate that. Mine always updates like overnight or whatever. And I'll wake up to find like, you know, all of my, everything has, you know, like I have to, put everything all in order again. Oh, congratulations, Red Rally. She's getting married next week. Oops, I missed one. Where's Tim Allen when you need him to save us all? I feel like a decent Galaxy Quest, nothing crazy, just a nice little Galaxy Quest. I watched Galaxy Quest last weekend. I think it was Friday night, because I think I remember talking about it during the stream last week. Found where Dina is in a chat. Spitfire, that's an Academy record. Excuse me. Only in Welsh can you have the letter L appear 4 times in a row and it makes sense. Oh, they did? Okay. Crichton mentions that the Justice Field when discussing the Karma Drive. Yeah, it makes sense that they would mention it. I just didn't remember if they did or not. The Conjuring isn't graphic from what I've seen. It's more psychological and ghost horror. Ironic considering it's directed by the same guy as Saw. That's up to you, Mantis Brawl, if you should reproduce or not. Am I going to do a cat video with my cats? It's too hard getting them to cooperate. Speaking of the devil, Soul's eating over there. I'm remembering why you left out so much of the Formica scene, but then you explained it would be in the cat video and at the end, so yeah. Oh, The Conjuring had the Annabelle doll. Okay, I think I have seen The Conjuring. I think I didn't care for it much. It felt kind of overrated. Hi, Jin Pan. I was watching Red Dwarf on TV earlier today. It was season 3. That's a good season. The whole time when watching the film Tenet, I was thinking of the Red Dwarf episode backwards. Tenet. I don't remember what Tenet's about. I didn't see it, but... God damn it. I can't... It doesn't want to let me select text. It keeps acting like I'm right-clicking. Like a little drop-down menu keeps showing up. But not every time. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. Oh, yeah, when Cat says tuck, tuck, tucky, tuck. I forgot about that. It took me a second to remember what episode you were talking about. Later, all you're in charge of chat iron. All right, Sticks, thanks for stopping by. And he's gone, of course. Kind of off topic, but I've been sketching my dog Lily as a humanoid, kind of like the cat. Her ears remind me so much of pigtails. Oh, that's cute. That's so weird. Oh, I know what it is. It's because when you click on a message in the chat, a drop-down menu comes down. But like, normally I'm able to select text. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's being weird about it. I don't mind being rickrolled. I love the song. Me too. Like, unironically, it's pretty good. The video's kind of fun too. All right, Hershey, thanks for stopping by. He's already gone. How come you've never done Galaxy Quest vids? Well, I don't normally do sci-fi stuff outside of Red Dwarf. God, what is wrong with this fucking thing? Also, I haven't seen Galaxy Quest enough times for it to really be like a... to really want to do a film den on it. Look around you. Can you fashion some sort of rudimentary lathe? Hi. Is it Pilly? I don't think it's Pile. It looks like it would be Pilly. How the shadow over cat's eyes stays. I'm not sure what you mean by how it stays, but it does make him look really creepy. Rickrolling is a classic for those of us old enough. It's always super enjoyable. Yeah, it always tickles me. My favorite meme is still all your base. Wow, that's an old one. How is Rickrolling still relevant? It pretty much isn't. There's a cat across the road from us. One evening I petted him and started to go inside. He dashed in, ran up the stairwell, and started to make everything his. It took me nearly 5 minutes to get him back out of the building. It's funny when cats do that. I had a cat do that once, or, oh, well, I can't remember if it actually got in or if it almost got in. This was a while back, but yeah. Strange cat just darts inside your house. Tenet's the Christopher Nolan film with all the time reversal stuff. Oh yeah, didn't it? Weren't there some issue with it, like the background music was too loud? You couldn't hear the people talk or something, and he said that was intentional for some reason. I think I remember now. Because those of us who were on YouTube pre-2008, it was great fun. The noobs of today know nothing of classic internet phenomena. I like to occasionally watch the Gangnam Style video. Shit, a couple months ago I looked up the video for Yatta, if anybody remembers that. I saw a video of the making of this, the video for Never Gonna Give You Up. Most of the clothing in the video is his own. I think I remember that. I may have seen that same video. Scariest part about my life right now is that lightning, if you reverse the video, lightning comes from the ground up to the sky. Whatever. Galaxy Quest is fun. Yeah, it's a really good movie. I get the feeling the chat is April 1sting you, Dina. Yeah, probably. Hi, Adam. You only missed 2 episodes, so you're not super late. Maybe time-wise, you're kind of late, but... Oh, Pilla. Okay. I'll try to remember that. I remember the April Fool's episode for Victorious, mainly the Wizard of Oz parody scene. I haven't seen that. By making everything his, I just meant he rubbed his face all over everything. Oh, I know. I figured he didn't spray, otherwise you'd probably sound a lot more annoyed. Hi, Raphael. Haven't seen my videos in a while. I've been okay. I hope you've been okay too. I remember watching Mike Mozart back in the day with his toy reviews. Oh my god, I forgot all about that guy until you mentioned him. Those were fun videos. In other news, I wrote a Son Tales fanfic on AO3. If anyone's interested, it's actually picked up a lot of traction, surprisingly. That's cool. War of the Worlds was a good movie. Okay. I never did see the remake. So many references to Star Trek and Galaxy Quest, yeah. Is that the cats I hear wandering around, or is Lee raiding the fridge? I don't remember. I don't know how long ago you said that, so... I don't think there's anything going on down here. Oh, soul scratching. Hopefully the scratcher and not the carpet. I'm not a big fan of April Fool's pranks. That's fine as long as it's not mean-spirited, but a lot of times they are. It's actually the nickname of Bones from Star Trek, just in German. Oh, that's neat. It means pill because doctors give pills, I guess. So that's interesting. My daughter meant to prank me. I have no idea how this morning, but she forgot. Making a new VTuber model, it's becoming an addiction. Any suggestions of a character? I don't have any, but that's interesting. I didn't even notice Soul meowing. I must have been too focused. You can tell my cats apart. That's so funny. Yeah, Soul has a really whiny meow. He's always like, meow. Speaking of fanfics, your Silent Hill 4 one has some traction. Oh, cool. I still occasionally get someone liking it or whatever. Pranks are weird. I don't like to lie. Yeah, same. It's not April Fool's where I am, but all my friends are from America and that kind of time zone, UK included. Kind of sad, but yeah, I don't have many friends in real life, just friends on the internet. Yeah, same. I don't think I have any local friends anymore. Dina hit her Silent Hill 4 novelization quite hard with the Henry Eileen stick too. Yeah. There was some definite shipping in there. Did anyone else do the Norweb bit? I don't know what that is. If I remember, you used to make My Little Pony videos. What do you think about the new generation? You know, I still haven't seen that. I should really watch that. I've heard it's pretty good. And yes, I did used to make My Little Pony videos. Who can afford local friends? All right, give and take.
We open on
Lift coming, sir.
Rimmer arguing with an elevator because it's taking a long time to get to his floor.
Just a drop off on the living quarters and I'll be with you in a flash, sir.
Will you really? Or will you really be a really long time?
A really long time, sir.
Ah, Red Dwarf. People arguing with the machines arguing back never gets old.
Right, that's it. You are fired.
You can't fire a lift, sir.
Let me tell you, Milado. There are plenty of young, thrusting lifts around here who would give their eye teeth to transport someone of my stature up and down their shaft. Tell all lifts we're interviewing for a new position in shaft 14.
Oh god, I don't think we've seen a Scudder since the CG one and Back to Earth. I miss those little guys.
Oh, someone followed me on Twitch.
Well, Lister's had a good time. I've been forgetting to point out the stuff hanging in Rimmer's bunk, so here goes. Aside from the newspaper clippings taken out of context so that Rimmer can pretend they're about him, which were first mentioned in Me Squared,
This is very funny stuff.
There's the picture he was having a scudder hanging back to Earth. And these are hard to make out, but they're probably his swimming certificates.
Lights!
And of course that amazing battle plan timetable from the beginning. Anyway, Lister has been in bed with a hangover for 2 days. But now they've discovered a space station that needs to be checked out.
Give me a break, Rim. I've been in bed for 2 days. I need to freshen up.
All right, good to go. Come on.
Since I'm pointing out background elements, notice the alert sign. In a previous episode, it said not alert.
What kind of space station is it, Kreitz?
I don't recognize it, sir.
Crichton mentions that he cleaned up his hard drive and deleted some unnecessary files.
I only trashed information I considered frivolous and idiotic.
Without checking with me first?
And you are?
Naturally.
Undelete the Rimmer folder. You must have dumped me in there by mistake.
Oh, there's a folder in here marked Captain Bollocks.
He can't insult Rimmer to his face, but I guess he can find more subtle ways of doing it.
Just dragging it out of the bin and reinstalling.
Bollocks.
Oh, sir, I'm so sorry. How could I possibly...
Yes, all right, moving on.
Calling you Captain Bollocks.
Crichton, please, let's move on.
Captain Bollocks, really?
This reminds me a little of when Crichton called Rimmer's mom a trout.
She's my mother.
I am so sorry, sir.
Just forget it.
I compared your mother to a foolish, ancient, blubbery fish.
Minus the silly puns.
I've no fish to embarrass you further. I'll let myself trout.
Now have pride of place in my car
That bit was so good.
Alongside ringworm and rimshot, sir.
He is about as persistent and annoying as Ringworm. So they enter the space station and Crichton gives him a warning.
The asteroid storm will destroy the
Oh god, I
station.
know all about Ringworm after adopting Terra.
Let's split up into pairs. It'll make things a whole lot quicker.
As acting superior officer, I naturally get first choice. Don't want you. Don't want you. Why is there no one good here?
They're like the Scooby Gang. They always split up in the same way. Hey, I think this is also the first time we've seen bazookoids in a while. I want to say since season 7, but that doesn't sound right. Has it really been that long?
Wonder why it's called Asclepius.
Presumably after the Greek god of medicine, sir.
Well, there's that, obviously. Obviously that.
Wow, Rimmer is at his rimmeriest in this one. Lister and Cat find a skeleton. This is reminding me of Samsara. Anyway, apparently the guy stabbed himself in the back somehow. Meanwhile, Crichton mentions that Asclepius is also the name of a Medabot who could perform any kind of medical or psychological treatment.
The cutting edge of droid technology.
Wow, it's like Robbie the Robot, but less dignified. I think it has ladles and a spatula on its head.
It's going to be so much more advanced than me, sir.
It's got 4 buttons.
Precisely.
So they activate it.
Greetings. How can I be of service?
They need to get back to Starbug soon, so Crichton asks the robot if it wants to join them.
We have
Oh,
nothing
that.
in our science room remotely as sophisticated as you.
Why? I would be honored, Crichton.
Oh yeah, there probably were
Turns out
bazookoids
it's a
in
snack
season 8.
dispenser. Back to Lister and Cat. They found out more about the body they found.
The guy's name was Romero G. Gonzalez, and he was a stasis booth engineer.
Ah, Mrs. Robertson, we're ready to start your procedure now.
And they meet the real Asclepius.
No need to be frightened. There was a time I was a teensy tiny, teeny, weeny bit mad.
Damn, that thing is terrifying. It's like someone made a robot version of Dr. Faustus from Thrill Kill. What the hell, it's appropriate.
There's just something so unsteady.
There it is.
Ranged doctor. Something about all that knowledge of human
Anatomy being put in the wrong hands.
Bet you never thought you'd see that meme in a Red Dwarf video.
I can see you're both quite nervous. Perhaps you need a little something to help you
Meme.
relax.
Yeah, time to leg it, you guys. Oof.
Dr. Insano became a cyborg.
Gently as you dream.
Oh my god, this shit got dark.
Take a seat in the waiting room. I'll show you where it is.
Bazookoids never work on anything, do they? Well, except those. Okay, they finally got him. That's actually kind of a cool shot despite the goofy silhouettes. Oh my god, it's still not dead. Another cool shot. They escape from the
looks
space
really
station
cool.
just before it explodes, along with Asclepius. That makes me feel better. Back on Red Dwarf, Lister is waking up.
Remember now, how's the cat?
So the cat is fine. Apparently Asclepius didn't get around to doing anything with him. But Lister's kidneys are missing. Crichton has injected him with a chip that'll help in the short term.
Which performs a function similar to the old dialysis machine of days gone by.
But he is going to need new kidneys. Also, Crichton never discovered who the droid doctor was and thinks it was a patient instead.
Mr. Rimmer and I, however, managed to obtain the services of a state-of-the-art Medibot. He goes by the name of Asclepius.
Asclepius? Crichton, can we talk?
Snacky has a cute voice. Anyway, Asclepius apparently knew of a way to take an organ from one species and alter it so it'll be compatible with another species. So the plan is to somehow get Cat to agree to donate one of his kidneys to Lister.
If it wasn't for you, sir, he wouldn't exist, neither would his species.
Wow, it's been a while since that got brought up. It didn't even come up with Identity Within, which had other cats in it.
He'll come through, of course he will.
Yeah, Lister knows exactly how this is gonna go.
How you doing, bud? They said you wanted to see me.
Yeah, take a seat.
Ooh boy, this is gonna suck for Lister.
Here you go. Soup, a roll, and a vitamin booster.
Great, I'm famished.
Gee.
Drip things like he's got.
Listen, Cat, as I was saying.
And some Himalayan sea salt.
Oh yeah, it's really gonna suck.
I need you to give me one of your kidneys.
Kidneys? This is fish.
The food, you doink the organ.
So
You
let me get this
doink.
straight. I'll give you one of my kidneys. What do I get?
A hole where your kidney used to be.
A hole.
It's not the kidneys that need
A hole where your
it's your
kidney
damn
used to
brain.
be.
When push comes to shove, you'll do what's right.
All these years we've been together, you think someone knows you. You don't know me at all.
Yeah, that went about as well as expected. Meanwhile,
I'd quite like to see you with regard to your psychiatric skills.
run, Snacky! Too late, he's stuck there all day.
I should probably sit down.
Why would anyone do that to my teddy bear?
The funny thing is that Rimmer does have legitimate issues.
Every morning, he'd measure us. If we hadn't grown, back on the rack. At mealtimes, he'd ask us questions on astronavigation. If we got them wrong, no food.
I guess it's pretty in character for him to push those aside instead of dealing with them and instead fixate on small things.
Why did she get the green crayon?
Anyway, Rimmer notices that the robot hasn't said anything and starts to wonder.
You want me to realize the only person who can help me is me.
And naturally doesn't get it.
I've got to look inside myself and find my own hero. Is that time up?
Back to Lister, he asks Crichton how his lying skills are these days.
I am now fluent in all the deceptive arts.
Hi, anonymous user.
So he goes to tell Cat that things got mixed up and it's really Cat who needs the kidney.
I need a new kidney.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fortunately it's Cat, so Crichton doesn't need to be that convincing.
Hey there, buddy. I come to tuck you in.
Cat's so damn funny here, but I've got to save something for the Cat videos. Anyway, suddenly he's all for donating a kidney.
Slice me open and haul it out. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine.
And Lister gets him to sign a consent form. Now Crichton drops the fake news about Cat needing a kidney.
Discovered it was you who had no kidneys, sir.
I'm gonna have to get myself a kidney then. But where?
Well, then I went and looked at the meta results again, and blow me, I discovered I hadn't made a mistake after all.
This is kind of unethical, but Lister is in kind of a bind here. So they're all ready to perform the surgery and...
What do you do when a bunch of people think you're some fancy damn DNA medicomputer when, in fact, that's not what you do at all?
Snacky finally outs himself.
We can't rewrite the cat's
Welcome
DNA
back,
and his
Teresius.
kidneys won't be compatible. It's like VHS and Betamax or the Catholic Church and science.
That might be my favorite line of the scene. So the body they
Zing.
found on the space station finally gets brought up again. Lister suddenly wonders if the guy was killed by a clone of himself.
And if so, can we clone me?
But that turns out to not be the case.
He was a stasis engineer working on a project to hack stasis booths in order to create a portal back into the past. One day, his future self appeared and told him to never go back in time or he'd be stabbed to death. The younger Ramiro refused to believe him and stabbed him to death.
Hey, Snacky turns out to be useful after all, because they come up with a plan where they go back in time, steal kidneys from past Lister, give him the chip that keeps him going temporarily, and then put those kidneys in present Lister. And since Lister had a 2-day hangover, they figured that's when they did it, and he was actually recovering from surgery. Oof.
No one knows how to reconfigure the stasis booths.
What about you?
I'm a snack machine.
But Snacky doesn't think he knows enough to be able to help.
Going back just a few days needs precision accuracy.
Anyway, Crichton asks Snacky some questions.
How do you unify the triode valve?
You reduce the transmodulator setting.
What does GFR stand for?
Gyrospectic functioning rate. You're right. Perhaps I can do this.
So he alters the stasis booth so they can go back in time 3 days. Way to go, Snacky. So, past Lister gets chloroformed and Crichton performs the operation. But on the way back, they nearly get discovered by one of their other selves. So they go into the elevator.
Make it snappy.
And here's where the opening scene happened, where Rimmer was arguing
That's
with
so
the
clever, I
elevator.
love that.
He's threatening to fire me, sir. How can you fire a lift? What is wrong with him? He's a total gimboid. Look, I'll make it right when I'm back in the present. Promote you even.
Oh, Rimmer. So they drop off past Lister in Rimmer's bunk and leave a bunch of bottles out so it looks like he got really drunk. Then they get back to their own time.
Where would it be without me? Probably sat here without any kidneys. Whereas now I'm sat there without any kidneys. Good old me, eh?
Later, Rimmer uses the elevator again.
Ah, hello, Rimmer. Remember me?
And it hasn't forgotten that promotion it was promised.
Yes, that sort of slipped my mind.
Snacky's installed a nuclear power reactor to my counterbalance, which means I can now travel between floors at close to the speed of light.
Rimmer just really doesn't get along with the machines, does he?
Just hang on.
No, you hang on.
So ends give and take.
No, you
This
hang
episode
on.
somehow felt longer than usual, but not in a bad way. There's just so much that happens in it that you're like, did that really all happen within 28 minutes? I liked it though. It had things happen early on that just feel like they were there to be played for laughs, like Rimmer's argument with the elevator and Lister having a 2-day hangover. But they end up being plot points, or at least explained. Not to mention the body that appeared to have stabbed itself in the back, that you might forget about until it comes up again near the end. They definitely had fun with time travel and foreshadowing in this one. And playing sci-fi tropes for laughs is what Red Dwarf does best in my opinion. Naturally, I also liked how Lister had to convince Kat to donate a kidney. Snacky was a really cute and fun character. I got a kick out of how he had kind of a reserved and mousy personality, and how, in contrast, Asclepius was just shit-your-pants terrifying. And I guess that's about all I have to say about this one. Next up is Officer Rimmer. Hoo boy. See you then.
You were attacked, sir, remember?
Attacked. I didn't start it, and I wasn't drunk. Well, I might have been drunk, but I didn't start it. But I might have started it.
Let me attempt to get caught up on the chat, and then I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom really quick. The new My Little Pony movie was about racism. I think I've heard that. The Norweb joke was the April Fool's joke that Holly pulled on Lister and me squared. Ah, okay. I remember him doing an April Fool's prank, but I couldn't remember what it was. Great and powerful Trixie's ready to watch Red Dwarf. I think I found you over the My Little Pony stuff and stayed with you. Yeah, some people did. I've gotten a surprising amount of viewers just from like My Little Pony and Red Dwarf. I told Chalk, yeah. You missed the first 2, I think. Only Red Dwarf can you fire or promote a lift. I remember I did notice the Scudder signaling until you pointed it out. Yeah, that's cute. It's doing it again. What the fuck? It's not letting me select text. It's so fucking weird. Okay, well, sometimes it does. Sometimes I forget Rimmer is a Tumblr sexy man. Captain Bollocks. Alert does mean changing the text. Yeah, this was the Captain Bollocks episode. I was thinking I just missed it. Sometimes I miss some of the dialogue because I'm too busy reading the chat. That's one way of floundering. Had ringworm. Yeah, ringworm is not fun. I got it from Tara because she'd been outside for a while and we just found her and we took her in and should have taken her to the vet a lot sooner than we did. Her hair was falling out. And because I had her in my lap all the time, I started getting those little ring-shaped sores on my arms and legs. Why is there nobody good here? I know, he said that like he just discovered who they were or something. Captain Bollocks just keep hammering it in and never stops being funny, yup. Yeah, Snacky's adorable. I remember crying about Snacky worrying too much about him. I was 6 or 8. Oh. On the Red Dwarf TV tropes page for Nightmare Fuel, when it gets to Asclepius, the entry starts, "Just look at the smegging thing," and had a link next to it. That's perfect. Pretty sure the Canaries were armed with bazookoids. I don't remember if they were bazookoids or not, but they might have been. I feel like they had different guns maybe, but I'm not sure. But it could have been bazookoids. When you wanted the Metabot and got the snack machine. How many times has Dina used the deranged doctor clip? Good question, I have no idea. I just use it whenever it feels appropriate. On the off chance that somebody might find it funny. God damn it, it's doing the thing again. What the fuck? I don't get it. I don't get why sometimes it does it and sometimes it doesn't. Oh, God! I have to go to the bathroom really bad, too. Fuck it. I'll be right back. Okay, well, it sort of saved my place. If I was only watching this episode for the first time, I would have spotted your Dr. Faustus quote coming up. It's such a Dina classic. Asclepius looks like it could have been... Oh, you mean you meant the ship. I remember later you said you said that was what you meant. Lister's kidneys, 3 cats in a box. 3 cats in boxes. We interrupt Red Dwarf to bring you cupcakes. No, it's okay. You don't know me at all. It's so funny. Let's go. Rimmer gets therapy. Yeah, they were a little rough with Lister after his surgery, weren't they? It's not your kidneys you need replacing, it's your damn brain. With everyone in the late 60s who you see playing everybody in the remake. I don't want a remake. Just keep doing what they're doing, and if it gets old, then they can stop. But so far, the show's still been pretty solid. I don't feel a need to replace anybody. Massive plot hole there. If they steal past Lister's kidneys, then how did present Lister have his kidneys stolen to begin with? I know, it's weird. Doesn't really make sense. And I lost my place because fucking YouTube isn't letting me select text in the chat, and I can't mark where I left off at. This is really annoying. I don't know why it's doing this all of a sudden. There it is. Never try to understand a time travel episode. Yep. Sorry. I bet he was wishing he didn't have a hard light core at the end of the episode. Yeah, good point. Because he's definitely going to feel that. Won't hurt him, but he's going to feel it. Where would Lister be without himself? Everything about Lister is always confusing. What if the robot was actually going to put those kidneys back inside Lister? Yeah, I've seen some people in the comment section suggested that. Oh, you found out about Red Dwarf because of me? That's cool. That's kind of the whole reason I did it. I wanted more people to watch it. Officer Rimmer traumatized you? Oh yeah, it does get kind of weird at the end. I forgot for a minute. Dina would have voted Cat to be Red Dwarf sexy man on Tumblr for sure. Ringworm couldn't have been pleasant. Yeah. It's not actually a parasite. It's a fungus. Like, it's not too bad, but you know, if a little kitten gets it, it can be bad for them, but yeah, but Rimmer is like the most loved character for being relatable, handsome, and character development, yeah. I remember they were armed with something except Baxter and Killjoy, who actually intended to take on a T-Rex unarmed. Kill crazy. I knew Killjoy wasn't right, but it took me a second to remember. There's another chair at the back. Do they ever swap places? It was my turn to be the main chair next month. I believe that's my old chair back there. I kind of keep it around in case I ever need another chair, I guess. There's like boxes and stuff on it. Speaking of remaking Red Dwarf, I did plan on making a spin-off comic, but it's about Rimmer and Lister's children in deep space. That's interesting. I'm not sure how they could have children, but... Snipper rifle made me goggle. That's a great post. Of course, Mantis Brawl spamming the chat with nonsense isn't helping me get caught up. Yes, the real Cybercat is my Twitch name. Would you have trusted the robot to put Lister's kidney back, though? Good question. The only thing I can think to explain who the kidneys belong to is they were a pair the deranged Metabot took out of cold storage. That would explain Lister's kidneys being gone. Yeah, the end of Officer Rimmer reminds me of the end of Inside, where the boy becomes merged with the huddle, a huge mass of flesh made up of many people with limbs sticking out everywhere. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I always assumed ringworm was a worm. I know. The name is kind of confusing isn't quite the word I want. I can't fucking talk today. I don't know what my problem is. Misleading. The name is misleading, is what I was trying to say. Yeah, if everybody could send gifts, that'd be pretty bad. I can't believe I called him Killjoy and didn't notice. My brain's been installed tonight. I can hear it rattling. I feel the same. Who do you think I am? 3 of 63. You're no better than 8 of 21. And he went, ooh. Yep, here's your problem. Someone set this mantis sprawl to random. It probably wasn't really that bad. It just seemed like it because I was trying to get caught up, and I just see all these posts about you talking about not having a kidney. It's fine. Yeah, I love that. Ooh, like to imagine the Borg having conversations like that. Yeah, How far into this are we? Are we halfway through yet? This is 4. Okay, so there's 2 more after this one. Should have time, if barely.
According to Freud's lexicon of dream symbols, flying is supposed to be a metaphor for sex.
Isn't pretty much everything a metaphor for sex, according to Freud? Except occasionally a cigar.
Absolute poppycock. I dream of flying all the time. It's always the same dream. I'm in a Boeing 727 and it can't take off. I'm sitting there with a tiny bag of nuts I can't get open.
Well, yeah, okay, maybe Crichton had a point. Anyway, they've detected a scout ship on the other side of an asteroid storm that's about to get caught in it. So it begins printing the crew.
Oh yeah, the printer.
With a giant dot matrix printer.
I love
obviously.
Ident details coming in.
Meanwhile,
Can of
on
worms is getting
Starbug,
closer.
they can't
Oh
tell how
God.
many crew members are on the ship.
According to their manifest,
Thanks for stopping by, Moonbeam.
half.
Because the printer is jammed. I love this show. Oof, there's some body horror.
Now it's saying the total crew is 1.
Best guess, the Nautilus is bioprinting its crew.
Crichton explains that there was a fad called bioprinting at one time.
Only after they encountered a point of interest, need, or danger were the crew best suited for the mission printed from the bio-library. They're created from synthetic stem cells.
Anyway, they only live as long as it takes to complete their mission.
In this case, save the Nautilus.
This is Captain Edwin Herring of the SS Nautilus. Can you read me? Over.
From our end, you look like a hideous 19th century circus freak.
I love that they waste time making fun of him.
You look like you're wearing a tunic made of face.
One look at you and even the elephant man would want to jump in his mum and dad's bed.
Anyway, Crichton tells him that his ship's engines are burned out and he's approaching an asteroid storm.
Our 2 ships are separated by the asteroid storm. We'll never get round it in time.
Perhaps you should print some more of your crew, sir. Get assistance.
I've just told you my bioprinter's faulty, you cretin.
Captain Herring has just about had it with Rimmer.
What's your name, crewman?
Dave Lister, sir.
Don't speak again, Mr. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So the Nautilus has explosive material on board, so the closer it gets to Starbug, the more likely its destruction could take Starbug out with it.
We've only one option.
So Rimmer launches a mining torpedo at it.
It's too late to intercept.
Rimmer, what have you done?
Right? What the hell, Rimmer? That's pretty bad even for you.
You've got to tell Herring what you've done.
What, tell him I've just nuked his ship? I'm not telling him that.
Why not?
He won't like me.
But it ends up accidentally taking out one of the Nautilus's wings and pushing it away from the asteroid storm, rescuing it.
That was the most insanely brilliant, ballsiest tactical maneuver I've ever witnessed.
Go Rimmer?
Who fired that missile?
Me, sir. Arnold J. Rimmer.
I'm promoting you to Officer Rimmer.
I'm with Lister. No good can come of this.
We'll head back to Red Dwarf, sir, and then pick you up.
Later on Red Dwarf, Rimmer is taking his promotion with about as much grace as you would expect.
There'll need to be an accolade so that you can be officially accredited as an officer.
I don't want anything too special. We'll have it in the Hall of Heroes.
Red Dwarf has a Hall of Heroes?
And then perhaps a short tribute to me no more than an hour.
I just noticed that even his boots are blue now. That's a little odd. Anyway, he wants to make a new officers club for himself.
So basically, sir, you're instigating a class system.
The haves, me.
Hi, Peter.
The have-nots, you lot.
Meanwhile, all the channels Lister wants to watch are only available to officers now. I'm not sure how TV would even work with the human race mostly extinct. I guess it's all automated, like the all-Android shopping network and Trojan. No humans around to shut the channels down, so they just keep airing old shows.
Premier League croquet. Eastbourne ladies versus Gloucester.
I love this.
It's a grudge
Turn this up a little bit since you've done
Gosh. Yeah, I could see that being a fun watch. Either way, Rimmer interrupts the broadcast to announce that they're about to meet with Captain Herring in person.
What the smeg's this?
On the way there, they notice that Rimmer has made it so they can only use the grunt elevator.
I bid you a temporary farewell.
This reminds me a little of the airline gag in Stasis Leak.
You can enjoy the in-lift movie, Gone with the Wind.
Not along.
And of course,
Wow.
the grunt elevator barely works.
No way I'm putting up with this.
A problem, Private Zero.
There's also an officer's corridor.
See you at the end of the corridor. Bon voyage.
It even has a moving floor. So Captain Herring finally boards Red Dwarf, where he meets the crew.
I'm third technician, Lister.
I can tell he's no good just by feeling it. I'm on to you, Lister. Don't think I'm...
Jesus, that would give me nightmares if I was Lister. And it might anyway.
That's so
Anyway,
unsettling.
Update on the Nautilus. Apparently it's been wrecked beyond repair.
Well, the cargo's safe at least. That means my mission's up.
Well, that was abrupt. Bye, Captain Herring. Later on, oh god, he's even gone back to wearing that overly elaborate dress uniform from Me Squared.
They were laughing at me as I ate my piping hot
Gazpacho soup.
Which is kind of appropriate considering where this episode is heading. Actually, now that I'm comparing them, it's not the exact uniform. It's a remake that isn't quite as crisp and clean looking. Still appreciate the reference, though. Also, Scudders and hard hats. In any case, they managed to scavenge the bioprinter, and Crichton has fixed it.
So soon? How?
I give it a
Okay, Mantis Brawl, thanks
Anyway,
for stopping
Rimmer
by.
wants to print out all of the dead crew members from the Nautilus who didn't outrank him.
Lincoln once said, if you want to test a man's character, give him power.
And Officer Rimmer once said, if you want to feel my boot up your recharge socket, keep talking.
Meanwhile, Lister and Cat are looking to print out someone who can demote Rimmer.
That's me. With genomes in the Nautilus's database. I think I might have flogged him. You flogged your genome.
So here's another interesting fact about the Red Dwarf universe. You can sell your genome so that people can clone you. And apparently Lister did that.
You traded away the map categorizing every detail of your genetic makeup for £100 and half a packet of fags.
And there are clones of him being used in call centers.
What do you mean all those smart-ass scousers and call centres are me? They're a pain in the backside. They know nothing, and they sound like they don't want to be there.
They don't, sir. They're you.
Anyway, Lister finds out Rimmer's plan to print out a bunch of crew members to work under
Do
him
they still
and
call
move the
cigarettes
web
fags in the UK? I know that used to be a thing. I didn't realize they still said that.
But Crichton can't go against Rimmer's orders.
Sir, if you think I'm going to select all these files and then take my leave so you can press that button there, you've got another thing coming.
And once again, he hacks his own system. Way to go, Crichton. Later on, he tells Rimmer that the database...
Okay, Red Rally, thanks for stopping by, and congratulations again.
And my DNAs and all my old belongings.
So Rimmer's new plan is going to be worse for everyone.
And then we can have an officers club crammed.
Oh, it is still a thing. Okay,
God
that's
help
interesting.
Things
And
are
hi,
about to get
Miles.
A whole lot more rimmery.
Whole lot more
And here's the
rimmery.
new officers club.
Gentlemen, welcome. Do you have a reservation?
Rimmer's only, of course.
Rimmer, party of 2, 8:30 p.m.
Come in. How lovely to see you again. Nice to see you.
How many of you printed your snake? You can't use bad opens, remember.
including a barbershop quartet.
Mr. Rimmer, we are what we see.
Oof, this is worse than the Rimmer song from the Rimmer Experience.
That is entertainment. I've had enough of this tossing about. Come on, we're going in. I've got Hey.
Anyway, now he wants to print 4 Rimmer bouncers.
I'll be right back. I'm getting hungry.
Make them huge, muscly, and
Actually, let me.
Then they wouldn't be Rimmers.
Why isn't it print?
Let me pause it a little bit. Ow. Ankle hurts a little bit. It's peanuts this time. I'm out of walnuts. Sorry about that. I thought about running out to the kitchen without pausing it, but I was worried I'd missed something.
Anyway, now he wants to print 4 Rimmer bouncers to kick them out.
Make them huge, muscly, and brave.
But then they wouldn't be Rimmers.
Why isn't it printing? Well, the new settings need extra time to calibrate, sir.
The printer takes a while, so Rimmer gets impatient and jams it again.
Pull, right. Pull me. Pull.
Classy. Speaking of body horror, that's very John Carpenter. Apparently it can absorb other Rimmer clones. Yeah, it's basically The Thing, but way more Rimmery.
Get me out of here, pronto.
I'm busy, okay.
I love that the Grunt's elevator is rude on top of everything else.
I'll take the stairs, sir. We've got to tell the others.
A little later,
I've rigged up a monitor wirelessly from the CCTV footage. We can see
It's a child-friendly The Thing, yep.
what it's doing.
that actually kind of reminds me of that Alien game for Atari 2600 that was a Pac-Man ripoff. I'm sure it's coincidence since I doubt that game is very well known, but it's kind of funny with how this show has referenced Alien in the past. Anyway,
Good
Rimmer
point.
Monster ends up absorbing
Good point,
all
me.
of the Rimmer clones and is now after the real thing.
Let me in.
Lister and Kat come to his rescue, but of course they're not going to make it easy.
I have to admit you're a grunt.
And I have to resign your first lieutenantship.
Oh, okay, I resign. Just let me in.
Did he get shorter when he was promoted? I'm sure he was just standing a little straighter for the second part they filmed, but it's weirdly distracting. So they let him in, and Crichton explains what happened.
When the printer jammed and did a mashup of all the countless Rimmers, it didn't just combine the sum of your parts physically, it amalgamated all your faults and ordered these stem cells to make a creature to accommodate them all.
Back at the control room, Crichton has a plan to destroy it, but it involves using Rimmer as bait.
I love it already.
I'm surprised he agreed to that. I guess he's just that desperate. I love this thing. So they get it to corner Rimmer so they can get at it from the other side.
Hey, what are you doing?
We're going to absorb the final Rimmer.
Aye. Then what you gonna do?
We haven't decided yet.
You not made a to-do list.
He knows Rimmer too well. Also, now we can see that there are more Rimmers in it than there were before.
We should always make a to-do list.
Have you got a pen?
We always have a pen.
It's made of Rimmer, all right. As it's making the list, our Rimmer sneaks out of range.
Don't forget to put the last thing you're gonna be doing on that list.
What's that?
Dying!
Well, that was abrupt. So, maybe not technically the best Rimmer episode, but it was a lot of fun. Previous episodes involving more than one Rimmer have shown his tragic side as well, and how Rimmer doesn't get along with himself due to his own self-loathing. I guess Rimmerworld was kind of a subversion, but it does at least have a dark side to it. This one doesn't go there at all, it's purely played for laughs. But it does still put Rimmer's obnoxious personality into the forefront, and there's a lot of funny little gags, and as a comedy it works great, for me anyway. I know comedy is subjective. Also, for what it's worth, Crichton and Rimmer do acknowledge those other episodes.
Sir, history tells us that you and you is a very bad mix. You and 50 U's is beyond horrific.
Beyond horrific.
Then they'll do what I want.
So it's not like the writers forgot about them or anything. I think they just wanted to have a Rimmer episode that was purely comedy for once. I also love the random body horror in this one. The printed clone of Captain Herring is kind of terrifying, but it's also funny with how it makes fun of how regular paper printers tend to jam and how the image can get stretched out if you try to pull the paper out. And I get a kick out of the detail of one side of his mustache being stretched up his head. Then we have the Rimmer monster, which looks like it was inspired by The Thing, but is a much more G-rated version. It has the potential to be horrific, but they went like 90% goofy with it. I think if it were from The Thing, it would probably have no clothes, or maybe the clothing would have been blue streaks that wove in and out of its flesh, and it'd probably look like it was in pain. Something about how it has a tiny shred of creepiness to it, but mostly avoids it, makes it extra funny to me somehow. It feels like
the legs sticking up.
I guess. And that's about all I have to say about this one. It's a rare Rimmer episode that's played purely for laughs, and I thought it was hilarious, so it's a good one in my opinion, even if it isn't deep. Next up is Crisis. See you then.
Oh yeah, Crisis.
One question, sir. The fact that you've been awarded officerhood by an act of gross deception, does that in any way take the sheen off it?
Not really, no.
Not really, no. Can of Worms is getting closer. Yeah, I think it would have to be the next one, right? Let me see what, what number are we on? Yeah, 5, so it's the next one. Bah. At least the guy who kept banging on about not liking your rainbow thumbnail seems to be gone. Well, I hope so, otherwise that's gonna be awkward. I'm surprised they allowed Rimmer to be in charge of buttons that could fire weapons. Yeah, good point. The makeup is great, but I personally would have digitally enhanced it with moving eyes via CG. Oh, that would have been even more creepy. That might have been too creepy, I don't know. That might have just taken it straight into horror. Not to mention Crichton's constant Space Corps directives about synthetic life forms sacrificing their life for the sake of humans crew. Yeah. Not sure why Herring doesn't recognize Rimmer's voice. It's very possible that he's not that smart. The have-nots me, the have-nots you lot. Gosh. They were 3 million years in deep space when they were receiving TV from 3 million years ago. That's what I assume. Like, they're just getting it, you know, late. Like, because they're so far away, maybe it takes longer to get to them. Or they're getting closer to Earth, so maybe, yeah. That officers' club in Corridor must have taken a lot of work on behalf of the Scudders. I feel so sorry for them. Yeah, good point. Only on Red Dwarf can you flog your genome for cigarettes. They still call cigarettes fags in the UK. That's interesting. I would have thought that would have, you know, died out. That's 2 episodes in a row where Crichton screws with his own programming. I'm guessing Howard Goodall did the singing for this too. Oh yeah, he probably did. Your ankle's still playing you up. Yeah. In fact, what day was this? Tuesday. I know it was one of the days when I went to the office. I think it was Tuesday. My ankle actually was hurting a lot that morning, and I actually took the elevator to the 2nd floor instead of the stairs. But it felt better after a couple hours. I don't know why it was hurting that morning. That Grunt's lift is reminding me of the It crowd. Jen has to go down to the IT department in the basement. The basement button on the lift is sparking and faulty, and when she gets there, the voice just says, "Get out of the lift, get out of the lift." Cheese sounds good. We're probably going to have leftover pizza for dinner tonight, so looking forward to that. The child-friendly The Thing. This Rimmer replicate talk has me thinking of Transformers animated Starscream Split Seekers now? Starscream, are you saying Starscream cloned himself? I never saw Transformers animated. I could totally see him doing that, though. John Carpenter's The Rimmer sounds like the stuff of true horror. I'm guessing there's an Akira reference here? No, it felt more like The Thing to me. It's made of Rimmer, all right. I love your commentary. One of my favorite Dina-isms, for lack of a better word, is no Rimmer, it's not aliens. It's never going to be aliens. It's fun to kind of like talk to the characters, because that's what I do when I watch the show, so... It's kind of refreshing to have a Rimmer episode that's just light fun for once, body horror notwithstanding, yeah. No, it wouldn't have clothes weaving in and out of its flesh. The Thing bursts out of its victim's clothes. Well, I mean, it's not literally The Thing. I'm just talking about the aesthetic it might have if it was more like R-rated. Nerd mode canceled. The one where we got actual confirmation that there were no aliens in the Red Dwarf universe. Some people didn't pick up on that. They thought the Gelfs were supposed to be aliens. I'm like, have you been paying attention? Got my eye on you, Lister. The CGI's moving would have been good, but I imagine that a good deal of the budget for this episode went into filming Chris Berry countless times in the Rimmer huddle at the end. Yeah. Well, Crichton is still somehow picking up Jazz FM on one of his nipple nuts. Well, I don't know if they still exist, but we also have meatballs called... Oh, I assume that's the longer version of that. I didn't even know if it could be a slur until secondary school when someone told me. Interesting. How does Crichton break his programming in Give and Take? I don't remember. Yeah, he kind of did, except Starscream made them all individual facets of each of his personality, including one that was treacherous and female. Imagine the thing, but characters give themselves away by saying things like Malado or Gimboid. They literally spell it out, genetically engineered life forms, LOL. I know. Somebody said in the comments, what about the Gelfs? And I said, you mean the genetically engineered life forms? The life forms that were genetically engineered by people? Yeah, those aren't aliens. Something to that effect. There was also, I think, a transdimensional aquatic being from the Mogadon cluster mentioned in the final episode of Season 6. Not sure if that's classed as alien. Final episode of Season 6. Oh. I assume everything is just, like, evolved from things from Earth. Or were genetically engineered or whatever. But yeah, I don't remember that exact quote. I hate gore, so I know I wouldn't like The Thing. That's on my films to avoid list. Yeah, if you don't like gore, The Thing is not for you. But honestly, the gore gets so over the top, it's kind of funny. I had Lee watch it with me kind of recently, and he got a big kick out of it. Why do you think the creators decided not to include aliens on the show? I assume just to be different. Same reason they didn't want to have a robot, but then they end up having Crichton anyway. At the end of the day, no matter what it's called, everything they encounter originated from Earth, either directly or indirectly, yeah. I don't understand this fucking issue I'm having with the chat where it won't let me select the text. Why? It never did this before. Fuck it. Hopefully I'll be able to find that comment later.
So we open on Lister trimming his toenails with hedge clippers.
Homegrown toenail rim, it's killing me, man.
Don't even get me started on those evil little bastards.
Oh god, ingrown
Also,
toenails.
I don't think hedge clippers are going to help much unless the plan is to lop off your big toes. By the way, I keep meaning to talk about Lister's shirt. For the last couple seasons, the wardrobe department has been using that throwaway line about Lister going to art college as an excuse to paint cool things on his clothes, implying that he actually is artistically inclined and painted those designs himself. Season 11 has this shirt. From this angle, we can see Rimmer as a little cartoon head with Smeg head pointing to it.
Breakfast, sir.
I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna refresh this page. See if maybe that'll fix my chat issue. It did not help. Why? Why is it doing this? It makes things so much harder. Okay, that time it worked. I don't know. Whatever. Fuck it.
O'clock in the morning.
We moved the clocks forward today, sir.
What's the point of having daylight savings time in space? Anyway, Lister's shirt also has a little self-portrait on it, holding a beer. So breakfast is the full Lister special.
Eggs, bacon, sausages, hash browns, onions, 6 slices of white toast, double buttered on both sides with mustard.
They had me until the toast.
And a beer milkshake to wash it all
Maximizing the page may help, and maybe I'll try that.
Nice throwback, by the way.
Give me breakfast. Chicken vindaloo and a milkshake.
What flavor milkshake?
Beer.
Beer.
Unfortunately, Crichton, forgot to make it.
Are you okay? I've been a little distracted of late. I think I've lost my love of mopping. And not just mopping. Scrubbing, dusting, even wiping.
Crichton no longer enjoys cleaning? This is serious. Seems like he's been contemplating his own mortality, which is never a good idea.
If everything in the universe is going to end, including time itself, what is the point in cleaning above eye level?
Lister tries bringing up Silicon Heaven, which is another neat throwback.
Does that bring you no comfort? Well, just lately, I've started to think that the idea of an afterlife for machines is preposterous.
Then where do all the calculators go?
But yeah, it turns out that it's Crichton's birthday, and that's apparently what started all of this.
I came off the conveyor belt 2,976,000 years ago today. Where did all the years go?
Anyway, Crichton is about halfway through his lifespan, so...
Crichton's having a midlife crisis.
Title drop, sorta.
Mozart was 5 when he wrote Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
I didn't say anything about it when I covered that episode, but that was also mentioned in Lemons.
You know, Mozart was only 5 when he wrote Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
I looked this up just for the hell of it, and apparently Mozart did an arrangement of the French folk song that the tune in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star borrowed from, along with Ba Ba Black Sheep and the Alphabet Song. Also, Mozart was 25 at the time, not 5, so it's not as random as I would have expected. There is a connection there, but it's still far from accurate. Not that I expect historical accuracy from Rimmer anyway, or anyone else on this show for that matter, except maybe Crichton. But after hearing the second mention of that quote-unquote fact, I got curious.
And after Twinkle, he went on to write, among other things, the best of Mozart.
Stop trying to sound smart, Rimmer.
It must be so hard for you being the only one here with a classical education.
It is.
Anyway, they go looking for Crichton and... there he is.
The new push-rod suspension system, allowing my nose to be lower to the ground,
Oh my
I can
God.
take corners at 38 degrees. Right? Check this.
That was a pretty impressive effect for this show. Anyway, Lister brings up the idea of a midlife crisis.
It's a period of emotional turmoil in the middle of life. Now check out these subwoofers.
I think Kat approves of the new Crichton.
You're having a midlife crisis.
Perhaps I'll go bungee jumping in the lift shaft and mull it over. I wonder why I'm so attracted to bungee jumping all of a sudden.
I love this show.
It's so silly.
Maybe don't make a drinking game out of how often they say midlife crisis in this episode. Anyway, Lister wants to show Crichton how much he's achieved with breaking his programming, but Rimmer argues that he hasn't achieved that much.
He's been independent ever since I helped him break his programming.
Yes, independent to look after you.
That's actually a good point. Lister's relationship
Clinton.
with Crichton is an interesting contradiction, with how he's helped him grow while simultaneously holding him back. There could maybe be a video in that. Lister's idea is to find another of the Nova 5's fleet with a mechanoid like Crichton still on board, so we can see how he's grown since he was on the Nova 5. And they end up locating the Nova 3.
Any life signs, sir?
1. Mechanoid 3000 series. Goes by the name of Butler.
The Nova 3 was trying to locate
Oh, yeah,
a
this is
space
one with
station
Butler.
whose mission was to communicate with the universe.
There used to be a theory, now dismissed as preposterous, that the universe was an intelligent entity.
They start contemplating what Butler might be like, and naturally they're expecting him to be like Crichton was, unable to lie and such.
Butler!
Crichton, how lovely to meet you. Follow me and I'll escort you to our bridge. I hope you don't mind, but I prepared some canapes. I thought you might be peckish after your journey. I hope you like vintage champagne.
Yeah, obviously this is gonna backfire.
After the crew died, I converted this space into a gallery, so I had somewhere to keep the paintings.
Butler has also improved, and in a much more upscale way than Crichton. While Crichton was learning how to lie and refuse orders, Butler was learning how to paint, compose music, and write novels.
Incidentally, if any of you have any diseases, I most probably have an antidote. Breakthrough medical cures is a hobby of mine.
Anyway, Butler plans to remain on the Nova 3, but agrees to visit Red Dwarf for the day.
My only captain now is my own muse.
How is this helping Crichton?
Rimmer, being Rimmer, is hoping to convince him to stay.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to update our mech. I'll get rid of Crichton. And we'll keep him for the cleaning.
For what it's worth, Rimmer also wanted to convince Legion to join the crew, and we saw how that went.
but I think I'd rather help expand your EM booster circuits.
We simply can't afford to have Starbuck out of commission for any length of time.
Peanuts out of my eyesight, so I'll hopefully stop eating them.
But on the way back to Red Dwarf, they encounter a Gelf ship.
Love this
As
bit.
usual, Crichton makes a suggestion.
Reroute power to the fusion booster. Try and outrun them.
I don't mean to interfere, but if you do that, won't the gunship simply take advantage of the open drives and electro-jam the engine?
But it doesn't work out so well this time.
Incoming! Prepare yourself to die, human ship of scum.
Well, this is a more human-looking Gelf, and he speaks English. That's interesting. He's almost cute in a way. I don't know, I just like his poofy hair and little horns. Also...
Reminds me of an Oni, actually.
Is that you?
Butler?
Yeah, of course.
Peanuts out of my eye socket.
I'm his daughter's godfather.
I think this is the first time they've ever encountered a Gelf that didn't follow in disaster.
Equihecta's promised to safely escort us back to Red Dwarf.
We must thank them.
Actually, Crichton, it's akaka, akak, makaha. Ma. No, it's in the throat. Ma.
Oh god, make it stop.
That's it.
Even Rimmer is doing it now. I love how Gelf language always results in a silly gag. In more ways than one, sometimes. Anyway, Butler asks the Gelf about his father, who it turns out is sick.
Do you have a cure, Butler?
Possibly. It's hard to say without seeing him.
Well, then you must go.
Crichton takes the opportunity to get rid of Butler.
They'll teleport me aboard their ship and then afterwards return me to the Nova 3. I must bid you farewell.
Later, Lister joins Crichton in the cockpit. Turns out that Lister had a midlife crisis a few years ago.
And finally accepted. How long did this whole thing last, sir? 5 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds like Lister.
I just thought, Dave, you're getting older. Move on. Just like that.
It's not so easy for Crichton, though.
Butler is several generations before me, and yet he's done so much more with what he's been given.
But it turns out that Butler's fix earlier actually backfired.
Meaning? The engines are gonna burn out, sir. You'll look out to be stupid. Say we die. Even better.
Yeah, congrats, Crichton.
Oh, my jealousy tip's overloading, sir. Return to sane mode. Of course we should land.
So they have to land quickly.
Return
and
to
Lister
sane
finds
mode.
The nearest site, which happens to be this space station, the one that was built for the purpose of communicating with the universe.
That looks pretty cool, actually.
Communication ever take place between these scientists and the universe?
It appears not. The scientists were long dead before the computers completed their billions of calibrations.
And here we go with the landline phone again. Turns out that the universe has been on hold for a while.
We seriously smacked off.
Leave this to me.
Oh, Rimmer, just don't.
To whom am I speaking, please?
I am the entity known to you as the universe.
So the universe sounds like Morgan Freeman? I buy that.
How can we know for certain that you are indeed the universe?
Anyway, after Rimmer wastes time questioning its identity...
But can you prove it?
Are you asking for a Rimmer utility bill?
Lister hands the phone to Crichton since he's the one with the questions.
I've been struggling of late to comprehend the point of existence. If you're going to die in 14 billion years' time, what's the point?
Oh, that might be a reference to Bruce Almighty. I didn't think of that.
Gonna die?
And now the universe is gonna have a midlife crisis.
One that I'm expanding exponentially, halfway through my life. And I've only ever created one lousy, stupid planet with intelligent life.
And before anyone tries to argue that this is inconsistent with some episode or another, you're wrong. Every single alien-like creature to ever show up on this series has been genetically engineered by humans. Hence the catch-all term Gelf, genetically engineered life form. Therefore, not aliens. Look it up if you don't believe me. If there's one thing the creators of this show have been consistent on, it's their no aliens rule. It just wasn't confirmed before now. My only complaint, especially with how this season likes to do callbacks,
I've only ever created one lousy, stupid planet with intelligent life.
And that's debatable.
is that there's no hint of disappointment from Rimmer. I can believe that he grew out of his aliens obsession for the first couple seasons.
Aliens! Aliens!
But I feel like he should have some kind of reaction to having confirmation that aliens don't exist. No big deal, it just would have been a nice callback.
What have I been doing all this time?
Making life from nothing is really rather tricky, sir. You've done rather well.
But Crichton gives the universe a pep talk.
If you created everything in the universe, then you must have created love. We do know love exists. And if it does, then life has meaning.
Which makes himself feel better as well.
Let's hear it for the universe.
Only on Red Dwarf would you have a handful of people applauding the universe.
Any advice you can give us before we jog on?
Yes.
What?
Crichton, take off that suit. It really sucks.
It does, Crichton, sorry. Back on Starbug later,
It really
Crichton
sucks.
calls up Butler to brag about how he talked to the universe.
Oh, you know the universe.
Of course he does.
You purposely expanded our EM circuit so I'd meet him? You had him on speed dial?
And so ends Crisis. This wasn't like the best episode or anything, but it was really cute. I like the idea of a robot having a midlife crisis and being its own sports car. Robert Llewellyn must have gotten a kick out of that since he's something of a car enthusiast. He probably didn't appreciate the implication that he's getting old, though. That said, though, apparently all of the actors, along with Doug Naylor himself being around that age, was what inspired this episode in the first place. By the way, for the record, that was not Morgan Freeman, just a really good imitator. If this wasn't Red Dwarf, I would have thought it was him. This guy has actually done a lot of voice work for this show. He was Shaft 14 in Give and Take, the croquet announcer in Officer Rimmer, and he's going to show up in the next episode and again in Season 12. I also thought Butler was a fun character. Despite how cultured he is, he somehow manages to not come across as arrogant at all and is surprisingly likable. I guess that's all I have to say about this one. It's not terribly deep, but it's funny and cute. Next up is the season finale, Can of Worms. See you then.
That lack of enthusiasm. Can of worms. See you then.
When he goes to the loo, do you fit a special hand made from 3-ply toilet tissue?
That's an excellent suggestion, sir. I'll make a note.
Here we go. Can of worms. I may or may not stop after this one. We'll see. I hope the ultimate punchline of Red Dwarf is that they find something out there that came from humanity so that everything is technically alien now. I remember I watched The Thing several years ago, and while it was scary as I remember, it was as scary as I remember. I couldn't help thinking that the practical effects were amazing for the time it was made. It really was. Very inventive, too. Creative, I guess I should say. Just those monster designs were bonkers. First time I saw it, I was 5. Oh my god. Wow. 5 and 9-year-old watching The Thing. I had some issues with Halloween Ends, but one bit I liked was that they showed there was a scene where a kid was watching the remake of The Thing, whereas they were watching the original version of The Thing in the first Halloween, so that was kind of a neat callback. Your parents must be really laid back if they let you watch The Thing at 5. Yes, that's what I was thinking. I think I remember someone on Twitter once reproduced Lister's jacket right down to the painting of Wilma Flintstone. Oh, wow. As far as I know, regarding your parents, as far as I know, they weren't aware of it. We snuck downstairs during the night. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, daylight savings is a pain in the ass. They keep talking about ending it, but they never quite get around to it. I feel like there's one state in the U.S. that doesn't do it, but I don't remember which one. Why was the toast the deal breaker for you? I don't remember saying that. Blasphemy, Crichton. Think of the calculators. Sorry, I'm just... Yeah, changing it to full screen didn't help. I thought it did for a second, but... Another fun fact, Baa Black Sheep has been converted to Rainbow Sheep in primary school over here now. Interesting. Funny thing about Crichton being about halfway through his lifespan is that he was supposed to have shut himself down millions of years ago. Oh, yeah! I think they forgot about that. I love Crichton's Ferrari look. Yeah, I love that he's his own sports car. The fact that Crichton is millions of years old and is only halfway through his lifespan shows that despite the creator designing him to spite an X, she didn't skimp on quality construction. Good point. I think Butler is now the third Crichton-style robot we've seen, the second being Abel. Someone else mentioned Camille later on. It's what I thought when I first saw that. Is Dina gonna do more Red Dwarf videos if a new show happens? I mean, probably, hopefully. I like to create cures in my spare time. It's a casual hobby. Everyone's saying, "Ma." What nut job programs a mechanoid to have an insane mode? Stands to reason if there's a sane mode. Yeah, rule of funny. Reminds me of the opening to that Child's Play remake where someone turned off the safety feature. Like, why would that even be something you can turn off? Reminds me of Hitchhikers, where they built the computer. Deep thought it spent 7 million years calculating the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything, and came up with 42. I've heard that. I wonder if the voice actor here is the same Morgan Freeman impersonator from the More Than adverts. I'm More Than Freeman. Haven't seen that. Rimmer probably didn't even understand the implications of that line. Yeah, that's actually, yeah, that's possible. He was just being dumb. It's possibly the only thing the show has been consistent on. They can't even make up their minds what the inside of Starbuck looks like. Yeah. It's Crichton's good for anything. It's pep talks. Yeah, that's true. To be fair, Rimmer's main obsession with aliens tended to focus on him meeting a species whose technology is superior enough to give him a body again. That's true. And after Legion, he didn't need that anymore. Can of worms, yay. Also, there's a weird pattern of other mechanoid actors taking the makeup better than Robert Llewellyn. Oh, taking to the makeup better than Robert Llewellyn. That's funny. The crew of Voyager had met Butler. It would have been a very short show. Yeah. Well, if you do one more episode, we end on a better note. Well, that's true. We'll see. I don't know. I think the next episode, the next video is like 25 minutes long, so I don't think I'll have time for it. Voyager had enough time travel in it. Did it? I didn't really... I watched Voyager when it was first on, I think, but it wasn't one of those Star Trek shows I watched a lot of. Yeah, I didn't like the thing the first time. As you can imagine, my sister didn't actually help, saying things like, "See, that's what we look like on the inside." Oh, is Arizona the one? Maybe there's more than one, because I don't remember it being Arizona, but maybe it was Arizona. In more recent years, we went to watch It Chapter 2 together, and I liked that there was a scene that referenced the Thing in that film. Oh, yeah. Crichton was describing Lister's breakfast and you said you had me until the toast? Huh. I'm surprised I said that. Maybe I was doing low carb then. Actually, I have toast every morning now, so probably shouldn't, but I do. Oh, that rainbow sheep thing's just... It does sound kind of bullshitty. I like to play with epoxy in my spare time. This reminds me, I've been watching a YouTube series of videos about a group of young men in Vietnam. I've been putting a replica Ferrari together mostly by hand. A lot of clay molding goes into it. That's interesting. Sorry, again. Sonic Boom referenced The Thing in one episode where Tails creates a machine that can merge things. A pie ends up getting turned inside out, and if that's what a pie looks like, then I have no desire to see what it looks like with the flesh. Yeah. There was a scene in The Fly where they, where he tests putting a baboon into the, telepod, and it essentially gets turned inside out when it teleports. Kind of a famous scene. I think they actually referenced that in, speaking of Galaxy Quest, I think they referenced that in Galaxy Quest where they tried to beam up the alien and then it turns inside out and then it exploded. Someone set this thing to evil, yup. Camille doesn't count because she was a rather lovely blob gelf that just looked like... Hi, Death's Head, I don't remember if I saw you before. Like a mechanoid to Crichton, thus she is only technically counts. Yeah, but I mean, visually, we did see another Crichton model. So it counts in that sense. Same thing with the holodeck. Why the hell would you have a setting where holographic guns can kill you? Yeah. Are reviews of any sort ever coming back? I mean, hopefully. I just have a full-time job. It's not like I decided to quit YouTube. I just have less time than I used to. Also, hi, Film Geek of Doom. It's funny enough that he has a smug mode. I use it every time I solve a crossword puzzle around my parents' house. Say what you will about the Child's Play remake, Mark Hamill was a good casting choice. I felt like he was phoning it in a little. I didn't think he did that well. I mean, maybe in a bubble it was good, but like he didn't do anywhere near as well as Brad Dourif. Nothing against Mark Hamill, I like him and all, but I thought that his being the voice of Chucky was a little bit overhyped. Once I actually saw it in action, it didn't really impress me that much. Okay, Teresias, thanks for stopping by. Sorry I'm yawning so much. I did watch Voyager a lot. 7 had a draw on me. You and everyone else. If you still want to hold out hope that there could be aliens in Red Dwarf, you could say that there were actually speaking to an AI that thought it was the universe and not the universe itself. In all fairness, Voyager did have a lot of time travel in it, to the point where a ship in the future monitoring time travel pointed out that Voyager cropped up on their radar far too often. That's funny. It's a fully working replica, to be clear. Oh wow. It's amazing watching it slowly come together. Yeah, it sounds interesting. Yeah, the pig thing exploding in Galaxy Quest. Yeah, that thing. I always felt that had to have been a reference to The Fly. I've got it. Cat was born in space. Technically, he's an alien. No, I'm just grasping at straws. Yes, you are. There was a bit in the novel Backwards where it was mentioned that teleportation was experimented with, but test rodents were just getting turned into mulch, so the project was dropped. Yeah, that'd be a good reason to drop it. Best thing about that scene in Galaxy Quest is how one alien had basically zero filter about... Yeah, that was so funny. He was like, it exploded. And of course, the Child's Play remake had an amazing theme, courtesy of the Bear McCreary. The theme song was pretty good. It reminded me a little of Child's Play 2, which I love that soundtrack. The universe did say intelligent life, so there could still be aliens, just unintelligent aliens. That's true. Best episode. Okay. Just rip this band-aid off. This one's kind of long, too. It's 14 minutes. As long as these videos go.
We open on Crichton having discovered a machine that basically does plastic surgery on your personality.
So it can perform corrective surgery on your character. Exactly.
Only on Red Dwarf.
Hypothetically, do you think I could do a little
Sorry, I
work?
keep yawning.
Take a seat, sir. I'll cancel this week's schedule. Now, the areas I think we might be able to improve. Now,
Crichton was hoping he'd say that.
This isn't gonna hurt, is it?
perhaps I should give you a hollow sedative, sir.
With a needle?
I'll talk you through every aspect of the procedure. Right now, I'm just in that... Well, where's he gone?
Well, it looks like Starbuck has had an upgrade. They no longer need to change the bulb to go to red alert.
Forgot about this episode. I wish I could.
But now they're way off course.
Can't blame me for this. What kind of lunch was that to give you, pilot? Roast beef with all the trimmings, followed by second?
Ah, he had a case of the itis, as Boondocks called it anyway.
What chance did I stand after a Sunday lunch like that? How long have I been out?
It's Monday, sir.
Anyway, it turns out they're in Gelf country. There must be a lot of Gelf tribes out there because it seems like the Dwarfers are always running into them.
The particular
anti-meta.
tribe of Gelf are the Oh, sorry. I just sat down on a screwdriver.
Another gag involving Gelf language after just one episode?
I love that one.
Particular tribe are the Naki Ninkas, vampire Gelfs.
This episode feels like fan fiction, yeah.
On the blood of virgins.
That sounds like some kind of urban myth to me.
According to the ancient myths, they can smell them.
Smell them? What the hell does a virgin smell of?
Desperation, normally.
But yeah, that makes Kat kind of nervous.
Can we discuss this for one stupid lousy second?
After a minute of back and forth, Lister catches on.
Never really don't even say it.
Okay, moving on. Didn't mean to open up a can of worms here.
Title drop.
I got a lady cat back on Red Dwarf. Hell, I got two.
So yeah, sorry anyone who believed that Identity Within happened off screen. I personally thought there was enough evidence against that already, but now it's officially non-canon. So anyway, they go the long way around to get back to Red Dwarf to make sure they avoid the Gelf.
Series feels like fan
they
fiction.
encounter a transport ship with two life forms on it. One a mercenoid.
A mercenoid is a droid, sir, who has agreed to sacrifice his life in exchange for software updates in Silicon Heaven.
That probably explains why the mercenoid and his prisoner are on a death dive into the heart of a supermassive black hole.
The other its prisoner, which is of undetermined species. Lister thinks that the prisoner could be human, so he suggests that they check it out.
Let's do this.
Good luck. Keep in touch.
It's very suspicious once they do. Rimmer can find no traces of the ship's logs, and even the black box has been erased.
Not getting any pictures from your head cam.
There must be some kind of signal block in place.
Lister forgot to take the lens cap off.
I'm picking up something in the movement tracker. Life signs, organic and part organic. In corridor beta 12.
That's where we are. Then you should be able to see them.
They're there, right on top of you.
Yeah, this bit is right out of Alien.
Could these life signs, by any chance, be us?
Nice subversion, though.
Yes.
They go a little more in and are confronted by the mercenoid.
I know you are here, humans.
Want to talk about your prisoner? Want to do a trade?
This guy's got nothing on Asclepius, but he's still pretty scary looking.
Yeah.
Take my advice and go.
Who's your prisoner and what have they done?
That is my business.
Slight spoiler, if the mercenoid had just said what the prisoner was, they would have been more than happy to get the hell out of there.
You can trust us, you really can.
You will achieve all your dreams. Size doesn't matter.
Anyway, at least we got a Rimmer fist bite. Those never get old.
Yeah, it's been dwarf time for a while.
Actually, that's not really true.
So the Mercenoid gets put out of commission and Rimmer manages to find where the prisoner is being held and he directs them there.
Birds, am I pleased to see you?
And apparently it's a female cat.
You got a name?
Sure I do, stupid. Who doesn't have a name?
Obviously some of this is gonna have to wait until the next cat videos.
Why don't we meet up later on the pretext of having dinner, but instead play the string game?
I love the string game.
If you'd like to follow me, Mom, I'll show you to your quarters.
Crichton's like, oh shit, now we have 2 of them. Later, Crichton goes through a black box that was on the Mercenoid and...
That cat we brought on Red Dwarf is not a Felis sapien. It's a polymorph, sir.
Yeah, so much for this being a cat episode.
Yeah, I love her too.
We get a 3rd polymorph episode instead.
That's why the Mercenoid was flying into that black hole. It was the only way you could ensure the polymorph's death.
And we killed the Mercenoid, saved the polymorph, and brought it on board ship.
Yeah, bang up job there, guys. Also, it's about to get a lot worse, because, the polymorph is carrying eggs.
Eggs that hatch? No, Kinder eggs.
Maybe it's trying to smuggle Kinder eggs into America. Anyway, Crichton found a documentary about polymorph mating rituals.
Evening falls, and the impregnated female polymorph seduces a passing organism.
By the way, that voice is the same guy who was the voice of the universe, only now he's doing David Attenborough instead of Morgan Freeman.
And secretly deposits her eggs in the unlucky host's body.
Naturally, they go to warn Kat, but it's too late.
She had some moves you've never even seen. Her big pipe thing shoots out of her back, then whooshes straight down your throat. Whoa!
Oh, I am eventually going to have some things to say about this one.
She just released her gushing tadpole stuff down her pipe.
Like, I know Kat's supposed to be dumb, but can't we put a cap on it at the point just above too dumb to live? Like, if he was any dumber, he'd forget to breathe. We're supposed to believe that Kat doesn't know how sex works. Okay, fine, he's a virgin, but he has jacked it before.
Another year when I have to send a Valentine card to my hand.
And has likely watched porn at some point. He would have to know that it's supposed to involve his dick somehow and not a pipe.
How do I break this to you?
You're a moron!
Let me handle this.
Catman, you're a moron!
I know I give this show a lot of leeway for rule of funny, but I've got to draw the line somewhere.
You should have sex with a genetically engineered insectoid arachnid.
It still counts!
Oh, Kat, you sweet summer child.
I'm counting it! I tell you, she looked a hell of a lot better last night.
Well, there's Kat's quarters all of a sudden, and a dead polymorph.
It's died, as the female polymorph often does, after the exhaustive process of depositing her morphlings into a host body.
Yeah, this episode is about to go to a really bad place. They do an ultrasound on Kat and...
To make sure that everything is... Oh my god!
Yep, he's preggers with a bunch of polymorphs.
When they hatch, they will literally burst out of you using the
Well
nearest
done breaking a
orifice
hero.
available.
You mean rather than forming an orderly queue?
So they attempt a cesarean. I just noticed that they're all wearing caps. This is actually the second time Crichton has worn one, despite not having any hair. And Lister doesn't even have his dreads tucked into his. Okay, my issues with this episode aside, I do get a kick out of how ridiculously clever the polymorphs are. They become tumors as a way to fight back. Actually, I'm not sure if that makes sense, because couldn't Crichton still remove the tumors? Either way...
We have to let them be born in the normal way.
Cue this really uncomfortable, for me anyway, scene where the polymorphs morph into big and spiky objects before coming out of Kat. Afterwards...
Flushing this lot into deep space is so cute.
Again, I kind of get a kick out of this. They turn into cute things, so Lister won't want to flush them out of the air.
Look at the little hedgehog.
I think the little hedgehog is my favorite.
I mean, most things look adorable when they're first born. Even velociraptors. Even the Rolling Stones.
Anyways, surprisingly, Kat volunteers to do it.
Take that, Mick Jagger.
Huh, that seems a little out of character.
He's gone. Why didn't I anticipate this? He's been affected by the oxytocin hormone released by the morphlings.
So yeah, that was due to a hormone that was injected into him while he was pregnant. So they have a plan that involves turning off the heat in all of the areas of the ship except
Even the
one,
Olsen
to
twins.
Kat to go there so they can find him more easily. But the polymorphs can sense their emotions, so they'll be able to sense them coming. So this is where that personality tuck machine from the very beginning comes in again.
And what will happen to my emotions? We'll just download your brain. Crichton, have a 5 megabyte memory stick on standby.
Hey, Lister's gotten smarter. It used to fit on a mini cassette. So they remove Lister's emotions and go down there. And it turns out that the polymorphs are fully matured already.
There are 9 life forms. He's still alive, but barely, living in an emotionless semi-state, his mind almost totally blank. No change there, though. Each polymorph we eliminate, sir, part of the cat's personality will return.
Come to think of it, that's pretty much how it worked the first time.
I need a hand here. I'm busted up really bad.
How did you know that wasn't the cat? I didn't.
Yeah, it figures there would be a possible downside to Lister having no emotions. Come to think of it, you'd think they'd remember what Lister was like last time he was missing an emotion.
Well, I say let's get out there and twat it. Help me!
Let's get out there and twat it.
Well, that's 2 down.
We've turned him into a dehumanized assassin.
So Crichton and Rimmer get separated for a bit, then...
I fear Mr. Lister may be a polymorph. We can't trust anyone. So how can I trust you?
People in Parkas not trusting each other because one might be a shapeshifter reminds me of the Thing again. Come to think of it, why does Crichton need one?
How about we go down to the science room and x-ray each other? That way we can be sure.
Yeah, that also makes me think of the Thing. Apparently there are 6 polymorphs left, so...
This is a nightmare!
Oh boy.
I got away!
Well, Cat's back.
There are 6 polymorphs here, and we don't know who's who. I know. I'm sure you'll work it out. Catch you later.
For a minute. Once they make it to the elevator... Well, shit.
How did you know who was who? A mama always knows her kids.
I don't know whether to be impressed or disturbed. Later on, Lister goes to check on Cat and tries to make him feel better about being a virgin.
But if you were, which you're not, it wouldn't mean that you ain't cool. It just means that you hadn't met the right girl yet. But done that. Exactly.
No way.
Hey, it's late. We keep talking, and there ain't gonna be much time for loving.
This is a dream, isn't it?
Having that be a dream is such a waste of a great twist.
Let's go.
Ugh.
God.
So, yeah, not too crazy about this episode. It has its moments, though. I do get a kick out of how clever the polymorphs are.
The little
and
puppies
some of the
wrestling
jokes
around.
Are funny, and of course, I appreciated the shout-outs to Alien and Thing. But I just think it gets to a point where Cat is just so stupid that it feels contrived. Also, there's some bias here. I just find Mpreg in fiction kind of weird and gross somehow. I think that dad episode not getting made was for the best. And I feel like this whole torturous birth scene being played for laughs is kind of mean-spirited. Not to mention how Cat is kind of traumatized by the whole thing, like it kind of twisted his ideas about how sex works and caused him to develop a weird fetish. I read a scathing article recently where the writer compared what happened to Cat to rape. I'm on the fence about how I feel about that, but he does suffer a weird kind of violation, and playing it purely for laughs, again, maybe a little too mean-spirited. I know Red Dwarf isn't supposed to be all sunshine and rainbows, and I wouldn't want it to be. I don't know. In this case, it's just kind of icky. And then there's how the writers need to be careful about having bad things happen to Cat. I'll go more into that when I get to this point in the Cat videos, but like I said in regards to him getting beat up in Season 8, he's supposed to be cool and untouchable, and this episode seems to sort of forget that. I guess that's about all I have to say about this one. I thought Season 11 was pretty solid for the most part, so I think it's kind of a shame that it ends on a low note. Apparently Twentika was originally going to be the season finale, but they switched the order around, and I think that would have been better. That episode feels bigger than the others in Season 11, and it would have ended with more of a bang. Not as much as Season 10, but it would have been a much better cap to put on Season 11 than Can of Worms. Unless you really hate Cat, maybe. Next up, I'm going to take a little break before getting to Season 12. Like with Season 11, I've only seen it once and don't remember it too well, so I'll need to refresh my memory before starting on it. In the meantime, I'm going to make a little side video where I compare a Red Dwarf episode to an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation that has a very similar plot, just for fun. See you then.
I wish we had time to watch that, but by the time I get caught up on the chat, it's going to be 4. I don't feel like going that far over time.
What's that huge area in the middle there? Well, that is your cowardice, sir. Perhaps you'd like me to perform a cowardectomy. What reduces it to sort of wimpoplasty.
You would gamble your safety for a mere android?
I just want to watch this bit.
Is this the human value you call friendship?
Don't give me the Star Trek crap. It's too early in the morning.
Well,
yeah, I played that clip both times. I talked about Star Trek. So let's see, we've got that one, season 12. 3 more cat videos, and then I compare Gunman of the Apocalypse to A Fistful of Datas, and then Promised Land. So we're getting there. Let's see. It'll probably be... I don't think we'll get through all of these next week. Let's see. I think we have maybe 2 to 3 more streams worth of material. We'll see. Hi, Neo. I don't think I've seen you in a while. I don't think it's Pride Month, but yesterday was Trans Visibility Day, so I don't have a trans flag version of my title card, so I use the Pride flag one. I find it bizarre that they remade Child's Play. I know, and the original creator didn't want them to do it. He had like plans for more movies, or well, not more movies, but he was planning the TV series. That was such a weird choice. I love where they redid the scene from Alien at the end of Spaceballs, complete with John Hurt. Yeah, John Hurt being in that playing that bit was a nice touch. Maybe it's like Prometheus and we are the aliens all along. Is that what Prometheus was about? Yikes. Considering it has M-Preg in it, this episode feels like fan fiction. Oh. I remember commenting that personality surgery was a thing in the novel Better Than Life, but it existed only as a part of Rimmer's back-to-life fantasy. That's interesting. Better Than Life. I knew that wasn't right. Yeah, that screwdriver gag, I fucking lost it when it turned out he was sitting on a screwdriver. I also love that most Gelf language seem to have more consonants than vowels. In my alternate what-if idea of this episode, the prisoners they find are alternate Kachansky and her crew. That would have been interesting. I think that would have been a better storyline. Another case of Rimmer looking at the wrong panel. Kinder means children in German. I think I knew that. Yeah, the joke I was trying to make there is that Kinder eggs are actually supposed to be banned in America, although I've gotten a couple before, so I don't know, maybe somebody had them illegally, apparently. I didn't find out later on that they actually aren't supposed to have them here. Yeah, the David Attenborough impression was great. I wonder if the songwriters of December 1963, Oh What a Night, regret clearing that song for use in that episode. I would, because if I remember correctly, I think Kat actually sings it badly, which is weird for him to do. You know that you really effed up when Rimmer and Lister agree about it. Excuse me. I remember the second time I watched The Thing, the bit that made me jump the most was the blood testing scene, yeah. God, that scene's been parodied a lot. Where are the women on Red Dwarf? They all died? Yeah, I only just noticed the puppies because I'm always looking at the little hedgehog. How can anyone hate Cat? I know, right? I'm not saying you're wrong, but when has it been stated that Cat is supposed to be cool and untouchable? Like, I mean, it wasn't stated. It was just kind of a running thing. I mean, just go back and watch the previous episodes. Like, I mean, I explain it better in the Cat video. I just didn't want to go into it too long there. Yeah, I know you've had comments from day one from people who do. Yeah. Nearly 1 a.m. in Germany, huh? Yeah, Fistful of Datas is a fun episode. And boy, did someone early on have something to say about that rainbow thumbnail. Just keep politics out of it. I know. Yeah, gay people existing is politics, whatever. Oh no, not again. That was funny. I actually, I read the script for Spaceballs at some point, and they actually mentioned that, like, they intended for that to be John Hurt all along, which probably goes without saying, but it was just interesting seeing it in the script. We see John Hurt with his name all in caps. Prometheus had the revelation that Jesus was a super alien. I've never seen Prometheus, but I know a lot of people didn't like it, and anytime I hear about it, it's always some ridiculous aspect that I hadn't heard about before. Red Dwarf had the revelation that Jesus is a common name. That screwdriver gag, one of the good things about Red Dwarf is their occasional bait and switch gags. Yeah, those are the best. Like Lister panicking on the Leviathan, only for it to have been ice water down his neck. Yeah. Gelf language seems to be the Martians for Mars attacks with way too much phlegm. I haven't seen Mars attacks in a while. I don't remember how they sounded. Alien as a series is very flawed. I hated Prometheus. Yeah, it seems like nobody liked Prometheus. First two Alien movies were really good. It's kind of like Terminator in that they peaked at the second movie. I guess technically Hellraiser did too, even though I do kind of like some of the later Hellraiser movies. As I have said before, why are Kinder Eggs supposedly banned in America? It's because there's like, the outside of it is edible and it has like plastic pieces inside, and they're like worried about kids choking on it, which, yeah, choking hazard. Which actually does kind of make sense to me, but I don't know, maybe you could just put a warning on it or something. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Can't put anything inedible inside something that's edible, particularly when it's meant for kids. Yeah, and Abstruse One already explained it. I like to think that's why Klingons used to hate us. We have a language we can speak without spraying phlegm everywhere. They make special Kinder Eggs for America that has the egg in 2 halves, packaged separately and the toy separate from that. Yeah, it's called... Is it called Kinder Joy, or is Kinder Joy something else? Okay, Adam, thanks for stopping by, if you're still here. Hi, George. It's showing up right at the end. 8:52 in my section because daylight savings has ended. I always like the put them together toys and Kinder eggs. Yeah, I think the one I got came with that. I do have just one question. What is a lemon? I have a soft spot for Alien 3. Yeah. That's one of those movies where, like, it's generally disliked, but some people like it. Actually, I did like Alien Resurrection. I forgot about that one. Not as good as Alien 2, of course, or Aliens, of course, but I actually thought Alien Resurrection was okay. I had to stop and think about that. I liked Prometheus, some didn't like it because it didn't have the classic Alien, it seems. Personally, I'd have gone with the suspenseful alternate ending. The rushed ending in the film went too fast. Well, I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment. People complaining about how much they hated Prometheus is almost a running gag at this point. Yeah, I haven't bothered beyond either Aliens or Terminator 2. I didn't feel there needed to be more, yeah. It was called Kinder Joy, okay. Like I said, I think Alien Resurrection is pretty good. I mean, it's kind of silly, but I think it's entertaining. Terminator and Alien have similar paths. The first film is smaller and tighter and more horror suspense, while the second film ramps up the budget and everything else into an action film. And both of the sequels were directed by oh my god, I forgot his name. Cameron. James Cameron, there we go. Ugh. Aliens versus Predator. I read that as Ash versus Predator. I hated Aliens versus Predator, personally. I went in with really low expectations, too, and I was still disappointed. I didn't see the sequel or sequels to that. I remember learning that the British crew making Aliens disrespected James Cameron and refused to see the Terminator to see why a novice filmmaker got the Alien sequel. Oh, someone else likes Alien Resurrection. That's cool. Mind you, when Sam takes on the giant spider in Lord of the Rings, I like to think of him walking on in the power loader saying, "Get away from her, you bitch," in his Somerset accent. AVP and Requiem are the only ones I can't personally stand. I've heard bad things about Requiem as well. Say what you want about Joss Whedon. He wrote Resurrection. Yeah, he's a better writer than Dan Lindelof. He wrote Prometheus. Yeah, I mean, like you said, say what you will about Joss Whedon, but I do think he's a good writer, and when I found out he wrote Alien Resurrection, I was like, that's why I like that movie. Yeah, I remembered Cameron, but like his first name slipped my mind. I kept wanting to say John Cameron, and for a second I almost said Kirk Cameron. I'm glad I didn't say Kirk Cameron out loud. That would have been embarrassing. I disagree. Prometheus had more interesting ideas and characters. Resurrection, while fun, just looked like a 90s music video. Well, that's fair. Like, I don't necessarily think Resurrection is a good movie. I just like it. If that makes any sense. Also, Brad Dourif was in it, so there you go. I loved him in Alien Resurrection. I've seen Aliens Resurrection. It's something, or I've seen Aliens versus Predator. It's something that happened. Actually, the director of Resurrection also did City of Lost Children, one of my favorite movies. Interesting. Tara, what do you want? Here I am, who has no idea about the Alien franchise except for the first film, as well as the fact that facehuggers terrify me. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't like gore, you probably wouldn't be into the Alien franchise too much. Not as embarrassing as being Kirk Cameron. That's the line of the stream right there. Oh yeah, Ron Perlman was in it too. He was also fun. If you like Alien, all you need to see is Alien, Aliens, and play Alien Isolation Only good entries in the franchise. James Cameron also directed Titanic. Yeah, of course. Over an hour's worth of deleted scenes. I can believe that. He was super passionate about that movie. I just realized that guy who asked me if I'm ever going to do more reviews, like, just left. He came in just to bitch at me about not making reviews and then left. The chat's funny like that sometimes. So yeah, I have watched another Alien film after the second one. I just forgot about Aliens vs. Predator. That's how inconsequential to me it was. That's another movie that had oh god, I can't believe I forgot his name. Fuck. Oh god damn it. He played Bishop. I feel so dumb for forgetting his name. Lance Henriksen. That's another movie that Lance Henriksen was in and couldn't save. City of Lost Children was good and the director has a good filmography. Damn it, I thought I was going to wrap up and now everyone's talking again. Resurrection was basically proto-Firefly. I can kind of see that. Hi, Cinematic Sith. Yeah, the ones asking, are you making more reviews or similar questions don't usually seem to stick around long. Yeah. They just complain and then they're like, well, my work here is done, and they leave. Where's Hellraiser Judgment? Actually, I don't get so many questions about when I'm going to do Hellraiser Judgment as much as when I'm going to cover the Hellraiser remake. From what I've seen, Aliens vs. Predator takes itself quite seriously as well. Did it? Yeah, I think it did. Just padding out the stream. Yeah, pretty much. The Titanic movie totally effed over William Murdoch, made him a murderous coward who kills himself. Needless to say, his family was not happy. Yeah, I remember James Cameron talking about that and how he wishes, in retrospect, he wishes he hadn't done that. Like, he wasn't thinking of him as a real person, just like, oh, it'd be interesting if this character did this. Hopefully they like the content and then leave. Good point. Well, since they don't want me to stream, they probably hit dislike. Thanks for all your Red Dwarf and Hellraiser videos. I enjoyed them. Thank you. I'm glad you liked them. I remember someone who kept demanding you to review stuff a good while back until you replied that if he made one more demand, you'll block him. Yep. I don't remember that guy's name. I just remember that he had Goku as his avatar. Okay, well, I should wrap up now. So thanks for joining me, everybody. I guess I'll continue doing this next week. I would like to stream something else at some point, but I've been too lazy to set up a different type of stream, so... Oh yeah, wasn't that the guy who somehow managed to fire about 10 shots from a 6-shooter without reloading? Not sure who you mean. Predator figured out its formula of put predator in historical setting, place against human hunter from historical warrior culture, hijinks ensue. Oh yeah, Prey was supposed to have been a really good movie. I never got around to watching it because I think it went straight to Hulu, and I don't have Hulu. Oh, you enjoy me as a person? Thank you, Pyla. Confession, I haven't seen the remake yet. I haven't either. I mean, I kind of want to. It looks interesting. I've heard kind of mixed reviews on it, but putting something exclusive to streaming has denied me many a film, seeing as YouTube is pretty much the only video streaming service I watch. I got rid of Hulu because I just wasn't using it that much, and I think they changed their layout or something. There's something about them I didn't like. So I got rid of Hulu, but like now stuff is coming out exclusively to Hulu instead of theaters, so that's annoying. I appreciate you too, Special Iron. Just give the poor guy the Blade Runner rights back. That's what he really wants to make. Prey is really good. I've heard that. The bad guy on Titanic when he was chasing Jack and Rose through the sinking ship. Ah. Oh, Billy Zane's character. What about him? I was watching this channel and you're a fun conversationalist. It's also nice to interact with others. Thank you. Yeah, we have a good community here too. Oh, thank you, Flash. Everyone appreciates me. Aw. I appreciate you guys too. I did see Prey at a friend's house. That should have been theatrical best sequel since Predator 2. Yeah, it's too bad it didn't come out in theaters. I hate the fiance in the Titanic. Oh, you mean Billy Zane's character? He's a great villain, though. Anyway. All right, let me wrap up here. Like I said, I'll probably end up doing this next week. Lee's going to be out of town pretty soon for a while, so I'm thinking of kicking around streaming on Fridays for a while, but I don't know if I'm going to do it, but we'll see. Comments try not to cry challenge. Okay, well, whatever I'll be doing, probably Red Dwarf. See you guys next week, I hope. Have a good evening and have a good rest of your weekend. I hated Kate Winslet? Whatever. It's been years, but I think I remember a scene where Billy Zane's character gets jealous and chases them through the ship trying to shoot them. He fires 10 shots from a 6-shooter. Oh, okay. That's what you meant. All right, you guys. Yeah, see you next week. Bye.